You call, I answer. Pushing you on the scene. Man, come on, I'm ready to go. Calculated. Time to play. You gonna keep me waiting, babe? Stop, kid. You're killing me here. And only one of us is allowed to do the killing. PlayStation.
Hello. Not our usual time. A little bit later. Had something to do. Anyway, welcome back to another episode of Sets Here, where you can only find it on a Tuesday here on twitch.tv/Capcom Fighters. And of course, we put two players in the ring to have a first 10 exhibition and learn more about themselves with interviews on both sides of that exhibition. I'm going to be your host again tonight, Jammers, but I'm not going to be alone today. I have other people, but I do have some announcements to make. First, I'm going to troll all of you because that's all I've been doing tonight. That's all I've been doing. First of all, I need to show you this thing. It's a quick static that tells you everything in the schedule. We're completely off the mark, but we're going to show it anyway. This is how things are going to be running now tonight. We are doing Street Fighter news, and we got some juicy news to discuss with you guys tonight in regards to Street Fighter. So we're going to be doing that for the next 10 to 12 minutes, and then after that, we're going to have players' interviews. One of them was missing, but we found him somewhere. Just like that old book, Where's Wally? We found someone. He's here, and we're going to be talking to them after our first Street Fighter news catch-up. And then after that, we're going to have the first to 10 exhibition. We made the announcement last night. This is what everyone has anticipated. This is what they're all waiting for. We have a certain set of individuals here and a certain matchup people are looking forward to. But that will be happening there. But for now, we've got our first announcement to make. So, if for those of you who are not in the know, there was a certain role within Capcom that needed to be filled. And someone close to my heart, as well as someone I've been working with for nearly 10 years now. Damn, it's actually been quite a long time. He actually made wind of it as a joke, but now he's actually in this position. Ladies and gentlemen, I have to introduce to you the new EMEA and esports manager for Street Fighter. And what was it? Was it Mega Man as well?
Mega Man as well.
There we go. So, I have nothing else to say. This is your new community manager. So if you want to get Luke erased from the game, hit up his DMs.
What's going on, everyone? Richard, the Dragon. I'm here. Much love to Street Fighter. You did a good job. And now he handed me the cap and the badge and the power.
Have you got the badge on you?
Not today.
Right.
Everybody, check out my Twitter for for the cap and the badge. I'm so happy to be here.
All of that.
I am so happy to be here.
You look happy to be here.
It's great. It's great. You know, we've got a new era coming up, a new game coming up. I'm excited. I think everyone's excited. Of course, everybody, make sure you keep on our socials for all the Street Fighter 6 action and news. Stuff is coming up. Don't you worry.
Wait, what did they put out today? Did they put out something today?
Of course, E-Honda soundtrack, we dropped that. So go over to the Street Fighter YouTube and listen to it. I went listened to it once, right? We didn't have time today because of all the preparation. Have a listen. Let us know what you guys think. Like most of the tunes, bit of a banger. So I'm happy about that.
All right, let me ask you this one question. What made you decide to fill in this role?
Oh my goodness.
That's a question from me to you.
What decided me to...
What made you decide to do this?
We've had this conversation.
They haven't, though.
We've had this conversation. Someone near Matt really maybe should have picked up the reins, you know. So I just thought, why not? Go for it.
Okay.
Here I am. So I had a really good reception on Twitter yesterday. So thank everybody for tweets, retweets, likes, hearts. It was amazing. Where is it? There you go, guys.
And take it from him. It was literally a sentence he said in passing, and someone said, "Go for it." And look what happened. So if someone ever says, "Oh, you know what? If you're hesitating applying for a job or doing something," and someone says, "Try it," what's the worst that can happen? The worst you'll get is a no. He didn't get no. He's right here. And now I've got to be very careful. He's got to be careful what he tweets. He's got to be careful what he got to tweet. I've got to be careful what I got to tweet. I'm sitting next to the new community manager.
Come on, man. Come on.
He's going to tell me the release date. No, he's not.
No.
But
No.
So now you're just hiding information.
Listen,
now.
you can wait. You can wait for the goodness like everybody else, Jammers, sir.
So wait, does that mean that? Can I ask you now instead of Matt?
Yes. Everyone can hound me.
No one's going to tell me anyway.
My
so.
DMs are open. At me. Let's go.
I don't know. If you say your DMs are open, some people will say, "Listen, just tell him to nerf Luke and get rid of Dalsim." I think it's just as fine as that.
Just remember, I can only escalate ideas. I cannot action them. But let's go. Listen, Dalsim and Luke at the top. It warms my heart. It does.
Do you know? He said that with such, sarcasm and trollisticness, whatever the word you want to think of. He said, "Yes, it warms my heart." No, it doesn't. He used to sit behind the decks. Now he's going to be in your faces. So yeah, maybe in the future, if more offline events come back, maybe you might actually see Richard at those events as well. And fingers crossed, more good things to come, because I imagine he's a very creative mind. So I imagine he's going to just come full force with a bunch of ideas, and you'll know because he'll put Richard the Dragon. He'll stamp his mark.
No,
down.
do it properly. Richard the Dragon.
You want me to do it?
Richard, do it properly.
The Dragon.
With the exclamation point.
No, definitely not, because there is an exclamation mark there. You know what? I hate the pair of you. Why did you put that exclamation mark there? You lot are terrible.
Everywhere.
You lot are
Don't
god
forget.
awful.
Exclamation.
Great. Now he's gonna ring me and say, "If you've been playing Street Fighter 5 by my back, look, can you tell us when Street Fighter 7's coming out?"
In the near future.
Oh, okay, that's it.
Possibly.
I tried.
Possibly.
I tried to talk about the next game.
We've
after.
had many Street Fighter games. Why wouldn't it get to a 7?
Maybe. We'll see.
The future is bright.
The future is bright indeed. All right. I don't know. Do you want to stick around? Have you got community manager duties to?
I think we've got another 2 we need to bring in. You know, the two other guys that make up the triangle of sets.
Oh, there they are. Didn't see you there. They were there the whole time. Oh, sorry.
Sorry guys, I was just sleeping. Oh, sorry.
It happens.
The dragon. Let's go. I like it. I like that you stay true to it, though, Richard. You did not let Jammers shame the dragon out of you. You just kept that dragon going.
And,
I like
keep that exclamation mark as well.
Yeah, I think double exclamation points, even if you didn't.
Yeah, one for both of us. One for me and one for Veggie.
Yes, do that.
The
please.
dragon.
Yeah.
Richard the dragon.
I don't know how far he's gonna get with that exclamation mark, but we.
Jammers, are you a dragon as well?
No, and I never was.
Are you a?
Why not? What would you want to be a dragon?
No.
Why?
That means
why not?
Dragons got smelly breath. Why would I?
Do you?
But they breathe fire.
Yeah, that's smelly breath.
Have you ever met a dragon before, except for Richard? So you're saying that Richard has a smelly breath?
Got him! Got him!
Is that what you're implying?
Got him!
Remember, listen, the community manager's in earshot, so he might just get you two removed off the show for selling his
He
good
might.
name.
He might, but we did say the dragon with double exclamation.
Yeah, and we did the right pronunciation as well.
Yeah. The dragon.
I didn't say a word. These two are just insinuating certain things. and the community manager is literally in the other room from me. And it's,
what was our names again, Ollie? Pain and
Panic.
And Panic.
Yes, I'm Pain. He's Panic.
Yeah.
He's panicking right now.
Yeah, because you
I'm
snaked him.
panicking because
You literally snaked him. That's what you did. You snaked your boy. That's what
Exactly.
He's crazy.
he's the biggest
buck
goblin.
violent. Anyway, Veggie, how are you feeling tonight?
I'm feeling really good. I've been hyped for hours now, and the hype train is just coming. So I've been ready. I've been ready. I've been pumping. I just took a quick nap while the dragon and you were having your pre-talk. As you could see, I was snoring. I'm sorry for that. I am a big snorer. I do get complaints for that, but it's not something I can do anything about. So
you can actually seek help for that. By the way,
I'm not gonna do that.
I've actually seen a doctor for that.
That is impressive.
You can ask me anything, and you'll just slide in my DMs, and we'll talk about it.
Did the snoring stop after you went to the doctor?
No, I haven't furthered my advances on that, but I did see a doctor on it.
You made that sound incredibly sus. Furthered my advances? What?
Yeah, because I need to do certain things, but
Anyway.
Never mind.
Ovaha, what about you? How are you feeling tonight?
I've also been very excited for the last few hours, and I can't wait to get this started because this is definitely one of those matchups where you don't have the privilege of watching that too often. But I do have to say on my part that here in Finland we have a pair of fantastic players, Valix and VTV, and I have had the pleasure of seeing this matchup on a high level. So I'm really excited to see how they're gonna do that with this pair of players.
Well,
excited.
We've been alluding to it. It was announced on Capcom Fighters social media last night, us at SFL EU. But we're going to roll the fight card now so the people know this is what they're in anticipation for. This is what a lot of tweets came out about. But ladies and gentlemen, this is what tonight's exhibition is going to be. Thank you very much for waiting and joining us tonight. But it will be ChrisCCH on the left, returning to the show for a second time, as you can see. But he's going up against none other than one of the best Blanka players around, one of the most knowledgeable, if not the most knowledgeable Blanka player around in Wolfgang. We got these guys in the Discord call. They are waiting. We're going to have a chat with them, and don't worry, we are going to ask them several questions about certain things regarding their characters, their status in Street Fighter, and more as well. But yes, as Ovaha was saying before, we don't really have the privilege of watching this matchup. We have the privilege of watching Luke. That's kind of just forced in our faces. We just don't get to watch Blanka on a high level. Blanka has a negative stigma, and he's had that for over 20 years now, and it's not going to go anywhere, unfortunately. Don't care what the player is, don't care what the game is. However, it doesn't hurt to... Oh, I thought you were looking in the mirror. It doesn't hurt
I kind of am, but...
It doesn't hurt to actually delve deeper into the mind of a Blanka player to find out, why they play the character, what gravitates towards them, stuff like that. It can be trolly questions, it can be serious questions, but you know what? It's going to be fine either way, because I'm actually curious, because I know Wolfgang actually, similar to a lot of commentators, Wolfgang actually goes around in a lot of streams and watches a lot of people, not just from Europe or the US. I think he just goes around and just chills. He tries to interact with the streamer and do that as well. So it'd be great to hear his thoughts about certain things regarding the FGC. ChrisCCH obviously having a fantastic time at SFL with Team CLG, and he's been doing a lot of stuff with the improvement of his gameplay and character in recent times. So we're going to have updated questions for Chris, as well as just learn more about Wolfgang as well. I mean, Veggie, I imagine they're going to stick with Blanka versus Luke the whole way, right?
I would think so. I mean, ChrisCCH is a player of many characters, so should he be losing, you never know if he will go for a better matchup or a matchup that he thinks you might not know. But I think Wolfgang is going to be sticking to his guns, because that is kind of his thing in this game. It's the Blanka.
Okay, fair. And Ovaha, from what you've seen before, was it one-sided or was it pretty close, Blanka versus Luke?
Obviously, the players I've been watching, they have played for so many times against each other. It can go either way in the tournament, especially in a best of 3 format. But I did talk to VTV because I wanted his opinion specifically on this matchup. So shout outs to VTV for giving me some background information and some of his thoughts about the matchup. So I'm gonna be probably speaking about them when the set actually begins. But I'm especially interested in what Wolfgang is gonna go with the V system loadout. and is it going to differ from VTVs, for example? So it's
okay.
going to be interesting.
No, fair play indeed. But yes, obviously, once again, we got to congratulate our new community manager, Rich the Dragon. I'm not going to do your little
Dragon.
Why, really?
Rich,
Becky, can
the
we
dragon.
You
Uh,
guys
The
can do it.
dragon.
The dragon.
Okay.
Le dragon.
You can keep that up and say that 100 times a day without getting tired of it. You can go and do that.
Easily. We're both singers.
Yeah.
That
You
is true. That
underestimate
is
us.
actually true. No, I do.
Yeah.
My apologies. I actually do underestimate the pair of you when it comes to singing. I don't want to fight either of you two in karaoke because I actually might lose. But yeah.
Might, will. I'm guessing on will though, Jammers. I mean, we
Will?
could do a challenge if you want to.
Fair,
So
fair.
I'm down for that.
Fantastic, I'm down.
Cool. No, I have no qualms of Veggie just completely beating me in karaoke. That's something he does in the stream for free. You don't need to throw down there. I just lost by default. Anyway, listen, we got some things to catch up on because a lot of Street Fighter action happened outside of the big news for the new community manager. CPT happened over the weekend, and we do have our latest qualification there, all the way from Eastern Europe. He's hailing from Poland. He will be the first representative going to the Cup from Poland. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got to give a big congratulations to Mirkin using the G and the Cody. If you haven't seen the grand final to this, Mirkin versus Kamal 09, please go watch that. It's a very interesting grand final, and a lot of these guys are young players, so shout outs to these guys. But yes, Mirkin representing at the Cup. Big opportunity for not only just him, but like having, you know, the Polish community on his shoulders. I'm pretty sure they're going to be discussing tech, studying other players, because again, sometimes, you know, to raise a child, you need a village to do that. I think that's how the saying went. But for these guys, I think if they're going to want people to see how the Polish community is working at full force, they're going to pour all their knowledge into this man to see how far he can go with not just G, but with the Cody as well. So, was anyone able to catch the CPT over the weekend out of you two, or did you? Have you not been able to see that yet?
I was at DreamHack playing Street Fighter tournament and doing a lot of stuff, so I was not able to catch the CPT, but I did check up on results earlier, actually, when we spoke about it. And we were actually close on having another Ed qualify for the Capcom Cup, and that would have been ridiculous in a good way, like a fun way. But it didn't happen. Merkin lost the first set with Cody, 3-1 against Ed, and then he switched to his... I mean, he used the main Karin, I think, but now he's playing G. Merkin. Yeah. But now it's G all the way, and it gave him the victory.
Merkin has been playing G for over a year at least.
Yeah.
I remember he played G in Intel Open last year, for example.
I definitely remember that as well.
That was actually probably my first contact with the player. And
Was it? Yeah. Wait, have we? I don't think we've had. Have we had? Is an Ed qualified officially for CPT? I don't think so.
Oh yeah, that's right. I just assumed.
Not yet.
I'm pretty sure that hasn't happened yet.
I mean,
Yeah, that's
not
right. You're
yet.
actually right. You're actually right, but it's looking very likely. But it could happen that it does not happen. But
Let's not
it's
jump
looking
the gun
likely
and-
right now.
and
But
spoil
we cannot
the
jump
Not
the gun.
jump
That's
the
true.
gun.
Yeah, let's not jump the gun and spoil a couple of episodes into the future just yet. We'll see if that happens. But yeah, I mean, it's still to be determined. But again, the character variety is showing itself coming in full force. I do hope that the website gets updated at some point to show us, obviously, when all the regional finals are done, because I want to see the online premiere characters that have been qualified as opposed to the
Right.
World Warrior ones. I just want to see the diversity and similarities, because obviously I mentioned before we had Seth several times in the grand finals, but we got a bunch of Lukes. Is it going to be a mirror image from the World Warrior side? Is it going to be a lot more diverse? If you guys catch my drift in that regard. But yeah, it was not only the CPT Premier Online event for Eastern Europe that happened as well. These guys did the business once again over the weekend. Their fifth and final ranking for the World Warrior Nordic Baltic region has finished. Ovaha, well done with the commentary side of things.
Thanks.
We were working with Ringe. Yes.
Ringe, and that was actually our first time working together, so shout outs to Ringe once again. He was fantastic to work with, and what a bracket it was. If you haven't watched this, please go back and watch this, because there were so many exciting moments around the whole bracket. A lot of upsets, some runbacks, and just a fantastic variety in characters that were used.
Yeah, it seems like it as well. And we got to give big congrats to big congrats to Wayne. We had him on the show not that long ago.
Exactly.
And lo and behold, he goes and wins the final Nordic Baltic region. This is what the top 8 was looking like here. Wayne in first, Jonzai second, Malmes third, Rickmeister fourth, Freyon, hope I pronounced that right. Is that how you pronounce it, Olvar?
Yeah, that's Freyon.
Freyon,
Yeah.
good. Shout out to Freyon for getting fifth, joint fifth with Kenzai, and then Riekemans, Barnett and Fang getting the joint seventh. But that was the fifth and final one. But then if we look at the final 8 for the regional finals for the Nordic Baltic region, well, look at that. There's that gluttonous British person taking top spot.
The character or the player?
Well,
Both.
You can take it how you will. Anyway, Veggie sits pretty at the top with 151 points. He is first seed. If I am not mistaken, Veggie, are you going up against Taco first?
I think.
Is that how he's doing it?
I think it's going 1-2. No, 1-8. 2-7,
yes.
3 6 4 5.
Right.
That's how I
Yeah,
think.
So, all right. Of course.
So let me just tell you something funny. I was a DreamHack, right? So I had to enter the World Warrior from DreamHack after a whole day of being on a stand and doing all kinds of stuff.
So doing your job, basically.
Yeah, basically. And then when it came to playing, I did not have a good performance. I mean, I had great performance the 4 earlier, as you can see by the points.
Right.
But this one, I just lost my 2 first games straight up. But I got 1 point. And if I had not done that, if I had not entered because I was in DreamHack, I would have had a shared first place with Riekemans Barna. And I think since he has had a higher, I don't know how that would work, how the tiebreaker would work, but he would win the tiebreaker, at least in my opinion, based on like the scores we've had in the World Warrior. So first I was really salty that I entered because I feel like I couldn't perform, but then I was extremely satisfied and happy when I see how the final 8 turned out. So sometimes it's like all you need to do is just show up and the rest will just align.
I mean,
that's what happened.
I show up all the time and lose. I don't know. I just show up all the
I
time.
mean, you have problems performing in tournament though. I think you're a lot better.
Yeah, I've
in
always had
ranked.
problems performing in tournament. Better in ranked.
So,
of course, I'm playing my flipping boxes and I'm pressing crouch fierce. What do you want me to do?
I mean, in the online tournaments, you're still playing in your boxers. You're still pressing
not
crouch
really.
fierce. Okay, yeah, but maybe that's the trick then. Maybe you should just straight out of bed, straight into tournament mode. Baby.
No, because I need to eat food first. I actually do.
Okay, we'll do that and then.
Well,
Yeah.
we'll see anyway. But yeah, you know what? Good luck to you, Veggie and Olvar. I'm gonna presume you're gonna get a call to do Nordic Baltic again.
Yeah, most likely.
At this point, it only makes the most sense. That'd be very silly if they didn't. But
I will happily do that because I love covering
they're your
this
peoples.
region specifically. Yes, my peoples.
They
but
are
obviously,
your peoples indeed. But yes, you know what? Obviously, because there was a bit of news, but we're going to talk about Street Fighter League on the other side of everything that's done. But yes, I believe we are just about ready to bring in our guys and have a lovely chat with them. So if we do have Wolfgang and we do have ChrisCCH, if those guys can unmute their mics so we can get talking to these lovely people, so we can have a fine conversation. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've all been waiting for, part of it anyway, we're going to have our interviews with Chris and Wolfgang on the mic here. I can see their mics are unmuted. This is perfect to see. So let us get underway with this pre-match interview. Chris, Wolfgang, can you guys hear me loud and clear?
Yep. Yes, sir.
There we go. Perfect. So, gentlemen, thank you so much for taking time out of your day. Wolfgang, I know you're waiting a little bit. But
I'm sure.
it's good to talk to you. Chris, thankfully, everything's okay. You were able to join us today. So thank you very much for taking time out of your day. So, obviously, Chris has been here before, but Wolfgang, this is obviously new to you. Probably seen the show before, but this is the part where we just get to know a little bit more about you, ask about your unorthodox character choices, and some other questions along those lines as well. But I like to ask this universal question first, because I always like hearing the backstory behind all my guest names. So, how did you come up with the name Wolfgang?
All right, so it's kind of a funny story, believe it or not. I actually used to go under a different tag back in the day. I think like when the game first came out, I used to go under a tag called King Buffalo, and I was a Laura player when when I first started. And I was a fan of Laura because I was actually like a Sean enthusiast from like Street Fighter 3 and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, I gotta play Laura. I thought I was, doing my thing. I thought I was on some hot stuff, learning the game, doing all the set play, stuff like that. And I started entering tournaments, and I was doing all right, hit or miss. But there was this one tournament I entered that was in Philadelphia. It was a local, and I ended up running into Tega. Shout out to Tega. I fought against his Akuma. I think he put me in losers, and then we ran into each other in grand finals. I can't really remember, so it was kind of fuzzy. But he kind of speed ran me. I'm not gonna lie, and he hit me with like the dirtiest back then it was dirty. It was like a simple reset after stun combo, and he shimmied me. When I tell you, I rage quit the tournament so fast. I literally just I hit once I just held the home button, quit out, walked off. The camera couldn't even see me. I was just in distraught. A lot of emotions hit me. I was like, you know what? I cannot play this game the way I want to play it. This character, I feel like it's holding me back. I got to start over. So I changed my name. I changed my name to Wolfgang. A lot of people assume is it because you're a Tyler the Creator fan? Is it because you into music, so Mozart? I get that a lot. It's honestly, I just picked the name because I thought it sounded cool.
Okay, Wolfgang doesn't sound like a random generated name.
Yeah, nah. It's a name that I've always been what's the word? Fascinated with. Okay. Because it just sounds. I don't know. When you hear someone's name like Wolfgang, you're like, oh, who's that guy? It has that impact. Wait, who's Wolfgang? Who's that guy? Oh, that name sounds kind of, that's I like that feeling of feeling my presence is out here and I'm sitting there. It's an intimidating name. Very savage, very intimidating.
I know what you mean. We've had I remember I entered the bracket once, and there was guys who had some serious names, and then there was a guy called the Four Ravioli. I was very scared because I said, I don't know what he's on today. That sounds like a name you don't want to be scary of, or you don't want to be messing with. I think Then there's the other guys that always catch you. They call themselves, El Fuerte 72, and then they play Zangief. And it's
That was me.
Thanks for throwing me off guard.
Oh man.
Listen, there's names like that can just throw you completely off the mark. But no, you know what? That backstory regarding Wolfgang is pretty interesting. Chris, you know what I'm going to ask you?
Yeah, I do.
Yes, let's do it.
Chris, are you going to answer the question or not?
The run back.
I feel like you owe us, to be honest.
Yeah, you owe us.
Yeah, you kind of owe us. So.
You kind of owe us.
Talk to me, Chris.
You have to ask him. What's the question?
You know what the question is, Chris. It was a year ago I asked you.
You have to ask it. I don't know what you're talking about.
I know. You know what I'm talking about, Chris.
What, you want to know what the CCH stands for?
Damn well no, I want to know what the CCH stands for in your name.
You owe us.
Alright, so here, I actually have an answer for you this time, alright?
Oh my god, he actually thought of one.
No way.
All you have to do, alright, you have to go to my Twitch channel, you have to get 100 billion channel points, and then you can actually redeem one of the channel points rewards on there that will let you find out what it stands for.
Is that a legit reward requirement? Is that legit?
Yeah, it is.
I'll do it.
It's up there. It's 100 billion channel points. You can get that much. I'll tell you what it stands for. Anybody who wants to get that many channel points.
Okay, so 4 years from now, Street Fighter 6.
I don't think you can get it in 4 years. I think
we don't know about that. Maybe I might make a call. I might make a phone call at Twitch. You never know.
I don't know about the phone.
I think we should do that. Actually, I think we should just do that, Jammers.
This man's branding is just too strong.
It's so strong. I actually might have to make a couple of phone calls, and if that's going to scare Chris into telling me what CCH stands for, I'll do it.
And when you know, tell us as well.
Don't worry.
But Chris, you realize that if someone then actually gets that many points, you would have to tell them.
Yeah.
That's why he's made it absurdly. Yeah, that's why he's made it absurdly high. He said, "I will tell you." It's just going to be an unreasonable task.
I'm just gonna have a computer that's always in your channel.
I still don't think you're gonna be able to get to 100 billion.
Yeah, exactly. And he needs to stream as well, certain hours.
All right, Chris. Chris, let me ask you this: what's been the funniest take on CCH? Can you tell me that much?
Ooh, the funniest take. I should have made a list of them because there's been so many good ones.
You should be doing that already, because if it's a name you've kept mysterious for this long, I think there should be a list, because I imagine people just go, CCH stands for this, the CCH stands for this. It's like, well, they're well off the mark, but that sounds funny anyway. I'll take that one.
Somebody asked if it's the noise a penguin makes, and I like that one. I think the first guess I ever heard though was someone asked me if it stands for Crush Counter Hero. Like what Seattle local. I think pretty sure that was the first official guess for what the CCH stands for.
Okay.
Was that after you crushed him a lot in tournament?
I don't think we'd even played in tournament. No, wait, I don't think we had played in tournament. But I didn't land that many crush counters. I was playing Guile at that time. He doesn't really have that many crush counters.
I mean, he's got back fist, forward fist, crouch fist.
A lot.
three crush counters is a fair bit, you know. Some characters, Poison only has one. you know. I'm just saying.
Oh man.
It can happen like that. But
He
you know
only
what?
has one hurt box as well. Yeah, sorry. Continue.
Yeah, let's not talk about your character now. Anyway, right, let me go and ask Chris this next question. So, Chris, obviously, the last time we spoke, it was me, you, Veggie, and Morty. Damn, this was a really long time ago. You were
No, it wasn't me.
Yeah, you were here. You were here with us.
No.
Yeah, I don't think Veggie was here.
Oh, was it not
It
there
was
with us?
me.
No, it was Olvaha. It was his first
Yeah.
episode.
Oh,
No, my second.
Yes, you're right. Damn, it's that long ago. I cannot even remember. But
Yeah, I
yes,
got you. Olvaha. I got
It's been over. Yeah,
it's
you
been
got
so
me,
long.
bro.
But yes,
It's been over a year.
Chris, you're with Team UIU now, but now you're with Team Solo Mid. Is that correct?
Yep.
You mind telling me how that came around? Because I think you just got sponsored with them just before Evo. Is that right?
Yeah, that's not a coincidence. It was pretty much just like TSM sent me a message just shortly before Evo saying that they wanted to get a player specifically so it'd have some representation at Evo because of course as far as like TSM's fighting game department goes, it's just me, Leffen, and Tweak. And so Leffen does play Strive, but they wanted someone that like primarily plays fighting games since there wasn't going to be any Smash at Evo that year. So I guess I was just the name that they were looking at. So I got in a call with them, and then yeah, they decided to sponsor me for Evo and beyond. So it's
Okay.
kind of just very fortunate timing.
You did deliver though at Evo with that top 8. That was a great.
I don't think I did.
Well,
I didn't make top 8.
He got 9th.
Oh wait, nah, sorry. Oh my.
Yeah, I think I actually anti-delivered.
Yeah, but still,
Sheesh.
still though, that counts as a top 8 when it's Evo.
Well, look,
No.
it's a very big deal. But sorry, Chris, you wanted to say something? Talk to me, Chris.
Oh, I just said no.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say no into something else, but no. Obviously, now I hear because I think the same thing happened with Brian and CLG. There are more teams wanting to get into the fighting game space. If you can't divulge too much, that's completely fine. Does TSM just want to do like more content creation, similar to like Panda Global, or they just want a fighting game player representing, so they see them competing at the highest level and obviously represent at the cup? But I mean, anything regarding that?
I feel like TSM is more just on the side of like competing than content creating per se. TSM just kind of wants to win. So as far as content creation, probably not like to the same extent of CLG. Like when CLG picked up their players, they were very clearly picking up people for both competition and like heavy content creation. But yeah, I think the timing's no coincidence. I'm sure a lot of teams are getting involved in Street Fighter V right now to prepare for Street Fighter 6. Because you're seeing teams like CLG and TSM get involved now this late in Street Fighter 5. I think that's kind of getting involved with the FGC now, so you're ready for Street Fighter 6 is what I would kind of guess.
Yeah, but Chris, let me pose a very random question to you. Do you really think it's a good time though? Because let me use Ending Walker as an example. Ending Walker is probably one of the best players at Street Fighter 5 in the world right now. And let's say people were trying to knock on his door to sponsor him. Let's say he gets sponsored now and he doesn't deliver in 6. Like early in 6, doesn't that mean like your contracts just slashed immediately because you're not performing the same way you were in 5? Aren't any of you guys worried about that? That you're being picked up now, but you might not perform in the next game?
I mean, I guess I'm kind of worried about it personally, but from like an org perspective, I think it's like a good time to pick up players because that's just the risk you take. You pick up players who you think have a lot of potential, and then if they do well in Street Fighter 6, then your bet paid off and you get a lot of representation. And if they don't do well, then when the contract's up, you go and fight someone else. But for me, it's not someone that's like terribly worrying for me. I'm just gonna try my best, and if I do well, I do well. If I don't, I don't.
No, okay, do you know, I love that answer. I really love that answer because I like asking. I speak to 1 or 2 players behind the scenes regarding it, but obviously you are recently sponsored, to get newly sponsored players' opinion on it. Now, obviously going back to Wolfgang. Wolfgang, we've got to talk about this. Blanca, why Blanca? Please, I know you're laughing, but why Blanca? Why have you picked this character? Do you not want friends? Do you not like how he looks in the game? Like, what is it? Talk to me. I'm being real here. This is mano to mano here.
I could just be straight up honest. Like, whenever I play any fighting game, I don't care like what kind of archetype the character is. Like, as long as I like who I'm playing and I can deliver the way I would like to approach the game in a decent fashion, I'll just play them. Like, people don't know. People try to guess my Street Fighter 4 main all the time. They're like, oh, who do you play in Street Fighter 4? Blanca? I'm like, no, I was an Oni player. Right? And Yeah, like no one would have guessed it. They're like, oh wait, you play a Shoto? I'm like, yeah, I can play other characters. I just like Blanca a lot in 5 specifically. And I've always liked his design as a character, right? He seems pretty pretty cool aesthetically to me, right? But I am not a loyalist, right? So like if he is not, I don't know. I mean, I don't see myself playing him in future installments of Street Fighter if he's not delivering the same way I would want to. But that's not a bad thing. I can still appreciate him, right? But like I play him in this game because like he's just really fun. I just like the mobility. I love being able to put myself in spots and be evasive, like bait and switch my opponents, while also still having the same fundamental like vision that other top level players would, because I'm at that level to do that. So it's like, just being able to, and some people say it's like, it's the whole low tier hero thing. It's not, because he's not even low tier. It's just, I really just like his aesthetic as a character, the mobility, where would I place him? I will put him, contrary to popular belief, I will put him in like high mid.
Okay, no, I can see that. Now, you said you have a similar or the same fundamental vision as top players.
Yeah.
This is something I wanted to ask you for a little while now. Do you feel you're slept on as a high level player in general?
100%.
Why?
Some of it has to do with the character choice. I will say that. A lot of people have like an odd perspective on, well, I won't say it's odd. I would say the Blanca player base overall probably doesn't deliver in the same way that a lot of other enthusiasts or players in general would like, show or display. Because I'll say to you right now, most people when they see Blanca play, whether it's online or offline, that player probably didn't pick that character to get better at the game. They just didn't pick them to do gimmicky stuff, right? And I get it, right? But it's because of the lack of representation at high level. No one really expects someone to, step up to the plate and be at the same level, like game knowledge and execution and all that stuff with a character like Blanca. It's like Dan. No one expects a Dan player to win a tournament. I'm just going to be like, you just don't expect it. But then you see Moruto just bust out the gate and just win. And it's like, oh, wait, maybe it's not bottom 5 after all. You know what I mean? Like, but then the problem is you have to keep winning. And then you have to like keep a receipt to keep proving. And it's like, I just stopped caring about proving. If people don't want to see me as a top player, that's their fault, not mine.
Yeah. Well, no.
Actually,
go for it, Baha, please.
So, continuing from the Blanca talk specifically, well, how do you think the matchup is against Luke?
I got that question a couple times now. I've been teeter-tottering between even and slight Blanca advantage.
Slight Blanca advantage?
Wow.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put it past.
A lot of it has to do with the V system.
And specifically, what about the V system?
So V Trigger 1 is project. It has a lot of enhancements to its special moves. A lot of it has to do with projectile invincibility. I feel like if you take away Luke's fireball, it now you have to like play the ground game with him. You have to like play sometimes mid range, and if you're not playing mid range with if you're not playing mid range, right, you kind of have an advantage because now he's kind of stripped away of what he's good at full screen, right. You can also cancel your normals into special moves without charge, so you can actually walk in and out and actually play like a normal footsie character would without having to worry, I gotta hold back and let him whip first. No, you can initiate and disengage at the same time with that buff. And with V skill 2 on top of that, like it zones, right? Yeah. So like you can make people, when you use V skill 2, it's like, okay, yeah, it has a bit of startup, but you can dash cancel to make people either want to chase you down or strip away their own game plan. And now it's like, okay, are you trying to jump my V skill 2? Or are you trying to like, how are you going to get around it? Because if you jump, I can anti-air. Right, so now it's like the pace can change at any time depending on how you assert it versus whatever player you're playing against.
Okay,
that's really interesting.
No, that is super interesting. Becky, you got any questions you want to ask these guys?
Yeah, now I want to hear like ChrisCCH's perspective on this since we heard it from Wolfgang. So I don't know if it changes, but how do you feel about the match, Chris?
I've like never played this matchup, so I've just been laughing it a lot. I don't know who wins.
Good luck.
I think that's all we can say to you at this point. I mean, listen, it's going to be a learning experience. You learn things on the fly there as well. Like Chris,
everyone's going to learn.
Yeah, everyone's going to learn at one point. Chris, let me ask you this. So what made you not completely switch, but what made you gravitate towards Luke and make Luke your main? Because I'm not mistaken, you still do play Seth and Sakura, is that right?
I don't know if I can still call myself a Sakura player, but yeah, I still play Seth.
Okay.
But, oh, go ahead.
All right, you go ahead, please.
Okay. Pretty much when Luke came out, obviously I play a lot of characters that I think people are aware. So I was trying out Luke, and then I just kept seeing more things that he could do. I was like, wait a second. I was literally like, what have they done? That's literally what I was thinking the whole time I was in training mode. I think the first thing I saw was like, okay, his crouch medium kick goes really far. It's a good confirm. That's a good sign. This forward heavy punch goes like this far. It combos on regular hit. It's -2 and it crush counters. Back heavy kick crush counters. His sand jab is going like absurdly far. And at the time it also had almost no block stun. So people were like never punishing it. So you just throw it all around just for fun. So yeah, basically I was just like, this character is completely unreasonable. And so I was like, well, he's my new main now. I was like, I'm gonna play. I remember thinking I'm gonna play him. I'm gonna see if like maybe there's something I don't understand. He actually has some weaknesses. Oh, another thing I remember thinking is I remember I saw Luke in the trailer with his fireball, and I was like, this fireball has to either be really bad or it has to be broken. And then as soon as I got to playing the character, I realized it's definitely broken.
Okay. No.
So I just like started playing, and I was like, all right, we'll see if there's actually some weaknesses with this character that just aren't clear yet. And then I won like 5 WNFs in a row using only him. So
don't worry, me and Logan remember that.
You're like, all right, bet.
I was like, I think it's my main now. Then that's.
But do you think he's been normalized with the last 2 patches that he's been patched and like weakened?
I mean, I wouldn't say normalized because I still think he's like top 2. I do think Dhalsim is better, so I would say he's normalized in the way that he's not like way better than the rest of the cast. But yeah, that it's still like pretty considerably better than most characters. But I think when he came out, he was like, I was actually thinking about this a while back. I was trying to think of like which character was the strongest relative to the rest of their cast, in the respective season.
At their strongest point. So season 1, Sean. Season 3, Abigail.
I think it has to.
Bloody, I can't remember.
I think it really has to be Luke, honestly, because I feel like every other season you actually had some debate about who's the best character, but I feel like when Luke came out on release, I feel like he was just like noticeably better than any other character. Like even season 1, Sean, I do agree that he was the best, but like there were a lot of messed up characters in season 1 and season 2. I think Ibuki was maybe the best, but like there's a lot of contention.
Let me interject there real quick. Do you think, Champion Edition Seth? Do you think he can contest with Luke now?
I actually think Akuma was better that season.
Gee, good lord.
Slightly. I think Seth was definitely like right next to him, but I think Akuma, if not better than Seth, he was right next to him. So I don't think Seth was considerably better.
Okay. No, I like this. I could talk to you about hours about this, about these different versions of the character and whatnot. Now, obviously, Chris, you kind of alluded to it already. You think Luke's top 2, but you think Dhalsim's slightly better. Why do you think Dhalsim is slightly better?
I'm gonna take up the entire show if I talk about everything I think about that.
Give me one reason.
I'll give you a few reasons. All right, he has a Yun dive kick. He has a +2 on block throw bait. He has full screen normals. He has a 1-bar EX V trigger with EX Fireball. He has a +3 media after forward throw mid screen and in the corner. This man's basically doing throw loops. He's gonna do throw. He's gonna do a +3 slide. Then he's gonna do his plus on block throw bait. He's gonna try to throw you again. All right, and then if none of this works, he's just going to dive kick back in and then start his pressure all over again. And then once he finally gets right like 20,000 times and get out of his pressure, he's winning again because he wins neutral. So there's actually just 0 weaknesses in the entire character. There's literally no weaknesses. And his defense is good because he's the only character in the entire game that has a meterless option that will beat both throw and shimmy with Gale. It'll beat it, like it won't punish shimmies, but you'll be plus on block and you'll be out of there. And then if on top of that, if he's in the corner and hits you with anything, he's going to teleport and side switch and be immediately out of the corner. And even if he doesn't hit you with anything, if you just space yourself too far out, he's going to throw out his 1-bar EXV trigger and still teleport behind you and be out of the corner again. And you also have to worry about him dive kicking on you at any time in the corner or just doing instant jump back teleport into jump fierce, which is just like for some reason unbeatable. So there's just 0 weaknesses in the entire character.
And I'm not done yet.
Yeah, no,
I could
legit.
go on for much longer. Let's give it up for ChrisCCH, man.
Literally, the most amazing thing about all of that is Chris's voice went higher and higher as he was getting into that downstairs conversation.
And like,
this
if
was
that's
crazy.
not enough.
Right, so Chris has given me his point and more than some on his point. Wolfgang, who do you think the best character in Street Fighter 5 is right now? Surprise me.
So I get that. I get that question a lot too. Personally, if I'm being 100% honest with you, it's clear as day that there is a tier among others that just start there doing their own thing. However, because I feel like they're so close to how they operate, right? I tend to do my tier list as follows. I don't even do top 5, right? I do top 4. Or I guess ordered. Lately, I'm not trying to do ordered, but I guess ordered. And then numbers 5 through 10, I just let them be whatever. But they're in the same. They're all in the same. Like, well, top 10 is like top 10, right? But numbers 1 through 4, because I order. Everybody else, I just don't order. But like as far as main character, I mean, like best character, it sucks because I'm always thinking between Luke or Dawson. It's like, bro, Dawson is dumb. V-Shift made him dumber, and then like. Luke came out on release. I'm like, bro, is this like season 3 Abigail? Is this speaking like, I don't know. It's like, again, Champion Edition itself. When he first came out, like Seth, like this, it's just, you could tell he was broken on release. I'm like, well, what is this character? He has an amalgamation of so many different things. And it's like, it's hard to stop him unless you just have a good counter.
And he's here to
it
stay.
sucks. What sucks about it, the worst about it is when you fight against Luke, the only few counters that you fight against them, they take either specialists or true fundamentals. No one out here is going to pick up to fight Luke. No one out here is going to pick up Sim to fight Luke. No one out here is going to be actually using their brain with Ryu. So it's like, and I don't got to talk about Blanca. So yeah, like, no one don't want to take that time. So they just say, oh, he's just the best because yada yada. Like,
Oh, okay. No, listen, I like hearing the different opinions on regarding who's the best character in the game. Right. You know what, gents? We are just about out of time for this pre-match interview. But, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, I'm going to get these two in the lobby. We've delayed it long enough. We'll see you in 5 minutes.
So I've been thinking about strength, man. Strength, might, the power to fight. Is it money, authority, a cool job, a ton of likes? Okay. Let's keep it simple. I want to be strong. Can you believe it? We got self-driving cars. The time's coming, we'll be taking rockets to Mars. And yet you still got folks out there using their fists and bodies to seek strength. Yeah, I hear you, man. We're all a bunch of fools. But, if you want to know about strength, you just gotta get to it. We fighting fools are all getting to it on the streets. You won't know what hit you.
Let me have some fun.
Let's get this mission started. This will be a good fight. Got you in my sights. Neutralized. Predictable. Time to end this. Fire. Double. 7. I'm just on another level.
What time is it, Beggy?
It's 12:08 a.m. That
No,
means
that-
it's midnight.
Now, that wasn't what I was asking. What time is it?
Oh, it's time to play?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
time to watch-
showtime. It's
yeah.
showtime.
Oh, I forgot your joke. Oh, I'm
You
so
forgot
sorry.
the joke, man.
I'm so sorry. Oh, that was so good too, because especially since I know the backstory of that joke. It's extra.
It's a funny joke.
It really is.
Unfortunately, can't be told here, but it's all good.
Very
But
good.
it's definitely showtime, like we did allude to just now. It's gonna be ChrisCCH going up against Wolfgang. ChrisCCH with the dramatic entry.
Yeah. I mean, this is a matchup that I saw a lot of interest in on Twitter. People were really excited to see.
Yeah, that's
these
true.
guys going up against other people. I haven't seen a tweet about sets this active in a long time, and I think people know that when you have such a strong Blanca player against such a strong all-round player, you know you're going to be in for a good time. Even though Chris says he doesn't know the matchup specifically with Luke, he did allude to that he knows how to fight Blanca on a general level. So you probably get to see throughout the set that Chris is finding answers to things he thinks he might not answer immediately, and that's going to be like one of these momentum shifts. It's something that I can predict happening. And I mean, if it goes really south, there is the opportunity to change characters for Chris, because he is a character specialist. I mean, a master of many characters, while Wolfgang is the character specialist, I should say.
Yeah, that's a good point you bring. He definitely can bring out the Seth if he wants to do that later on in the set, but hopefully we'll just see the Luke versus Blanca at first and see where it goes from there.
There it is. We have the V-Skill 1. I thought ChrisCCH was one of the bringers of V-Skill 2.
No,
Like, is it
I
has to
think
do with punishments,
because
maybe?
look, suppressor only works if you're close to the dude, right? We're gonna get the game sound for you guys very
Okay,
shortly.
so one thing I want to just point out just right off the bat about Blanca and light Blanca balls, actually,
Hadouken.
yeah. So
Sonic Boom.
I mean,
Sonic
Luke
Boom.
Luke
Sorry.
cannot punish light punch Blanca balls without EX projectile.
There you go. There it is. I was wondering why they went on my face. That was a bit climactic. Didn't even
Sorry.
give me a
Yeah.
warning.
So what did you say, Ilva? Who can punish what?
Yeah, so light Blanca ball can't be punished by Luke if he doesn't have meter.
Yeah, he needs the Exam Blasters to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a knockdown. It's better if he has V-Trigger 1 activate, because he can activate and then get the Yuki from that situation.
Ooh, I like the respect from Wolfgang just giving off space for Chris in the corner here.
Yeah, I think we'll notice that Wolfgang is a solid fundamental player, but he also will have bursts of wilderness.
And this
as
is
it
also like, I really like how Wolfgang is right off the bat using the EX Rainbow Ball to try to, escape the corner. But against Luke, he does have some air-to-air options. He has the DP, and, he has normals that move him forward. So it's going to be tougher against him compared to other characters.
Well,
ChrisCCH is a hitbox player, right?
yes, he is. I want to
so we
see
can
how Chris deals with. Goes to the Avenger. I want to see how he deals with V-Skill 2. Shout to Earth from Blanca. I want to see this up close game as well. How he deals with it. There's a number of things, but right now it's
nice
looking good for him. Gets the escape.
And now he's escaping already. Oh, and activates from the slide there as well.
Yeah, that's a throw. Yeah, he fakes that as well. Yeah, see, I hate that.
That's the classic.
That's a gimmick. That's what that is.
It is a gimmick, but he's working on how.
Yo, he's stunned! Who's gimmick now?
I mean, he got thrown 4 times, but it's like
Is that stun a gimmick as well?
Do you know what's crazy? There's a couple of situations, or there's a couple of moves in the game where Blanca puts himself in the corner with Blanca Ball. He's got a hitbox behind him, or a hurtbox, so you can actually press a button and get him out of that. Or certain CAs can actually hit him from behind.
And the forward moving lightning is actually +2. Someone asked it in the
Which
chat.
one? The stop?
Yes.
Yeah, when he's in V-Trigger 1, his electricity is like +2 or 3, and then the EX version is like +4, but when he's in Jungle Dynamo, it changes to +2, but it moves him forward.
Yeah.
Gets forward throw.
Damage. Just look at that. The score or the health bar is just equalized, just
Once
like
again,
that.
the rainbow ball. Look at this. Getting an extension.
Nice interruption from
Sending him
ChrisCCH.
full screen, I'm not sure about that.
That's a good point.
He has to wait. Yeah, he's trying to bait the roll because of that. I think he's got projectile invincibility somewhere, so he can go under it.
Yeah, he can definitely go under.
And I like how he's now just using the V-Trigger early so that he can build up. Nice. We can build up some more V-bar for a V-shift or...
What a clutch backdash. No, he tried to go for the rainbow. Oh!
He's dead.
Oh, another one! That was
Dead.
sick.
Yeah, I think he done that
Sick
V-shift.
read.
I think he done that B shift out of panic because the momentum was building on Wolfgang's side because he landed that first crush can, and of course it was just instant. But yeah, first game, early days, that was actually pretty interesting. I'm not sure if we're going to see an abundance of crush counters in general on both sides, but again, I feel Blanka's one of the characters that he'll crush counter you more often than you'd like, because again, me and Vega talk about this a lot of the time, people get crush countered nowadays when they don't know something. That's one of the reasons why people still get crush countered, because you don't know something.
Yeah, that's a good point. And Chris did say that, as it really doesn't have that much experience in this matchup, so he might be getting crush countered a lot.
Well, he's fought Blanka, just not with Luke, so.
Yeah, but one thing I noticed from all these Luke players lately is that they started using the stand light punch and counter it convert. Even though it is punishable in block, people just not ready. So he's just throwing it out, stand light punch. If it converts, counter it, crouch jab, stand light punch again. It's one of those new things Luke players are bringing to the table, but he needs to bring something else to the table. Does not have V-trigger to follow up. If Wolfgang tries to wake up, but maybe reading that ChrisCCH would bait the DP, but ChrisCCH just kept the pressure true, making sure that that round was not taken away from him.
Okay, gets a conversion into the rolling attack and a punish with the Exam Blaster. That's what Ovar was mentioned before. Straight in the corner with double flash knuckle.
Ooh, that's so nasty. Straight into the corner. This is where Blanka is really going to struggle. He's going to need to use that EX Rainbow Ball, but it doesn't matter.
This is the combo we're talking about, right?
Yeah, this is the big damage one.
Yeah, I checked it, and that is correct. So this is what I was talking about with Veggie, and he had to double check with Phenom for me. When you stun someone with a throw with Luke, the optimal combo is with the charge level 3 heavy flash knuckle, and then you do the whole follow-up from there. If you stun them any other way, then you got to do a jump in into crouch fierce, into the level 2 amplified V skill 1 flash knuckle, and then do the follow-up from there. Because I was well confused, because I was watching different Luke players doing post stun combos. So I was like, why are they doing different ones from the other dude I just watched? So yeah, we just have to get that knowledge and double check.
I mean, even though Luke does not have the bar, he still gets kind of like trade the chip whenever he blocks the ball, so I guess it's not that much of a deal, at least before Wolfgang gets the meter. That was a great DP.
I also like how Wolfgang is, trying to use the Blanka ball a little bit more when Chris doesn't have the meter.
Ooh!
To actually get a punish.
Big damage. Is he going to do the reversal or he's going to block?
He was straight into the mix. Oh, what a clutch!
He tried it again after seeing Chris
that was bad.
Respecting the DP.
The back throw. This is good for Wolfgang.
Oh, that
get
No. So, okay, if you've got invincible moves, Blanka will go right through you. He's very weird.
Sick.
He's dead.
He did not go for the jump in, though.
No, he needs to do another mix of
he should have not started.
He's going to do
that's so crazy. He's going ham.
I mean, he's using all his bar, and he's still high. I mean, he had the position, he had the life lead. He can just close it out. Any jab,
this
almost, or at least any medium.
Yeah, he needs to be really careful about
it. There's one hit for Chris as well, but he used his bar, can't punish anymore now.
Ooh, that's so
plus frames. And there's that thing I spoke about. They are using that standing light punch, catching the players off guard, counter it, converting. And Wolfgang needs to start punishing the stand jab on block to make ChrisCCH stop using that too. That's a new thing that all these Luke players are using right now.
Yeah, take your turn back.
Yeah, but I know it's -4, but that distance is very difficult for even Blanka to try to contest with that. But that looked crazy, dude. That looked legit crazy. Alright, there you go. Yeah, that is trying to charge up his V skill.
Using that V skill, getting that V trigger as fast.
We have it again. Great tool. He's
doing so much work for him right now.
Yeah, meaty heavy kick.
See, I'm pretty sure Wolfgang could have been around up here if he spent CA before. That's bugging me now. Oh!
Yo, that was sick!
That was filthy.
Yo, no way!
I'm touching my head right now. That was crazy.
And you see why we have Blanka under this negative stigma? It's because people want to land things like that. That was vulgar, but it was brilliant.
Yeah, they want to land that in a tournament, in a best-of-3 format.
Yeah, no, listen, I'm going to ask Wolfgang. Don't worry, I've got my philosophical question for the Blanka players after this set is done. Don't worry.
Dude, that was so sick. I'm still reeling from that.
That was recorded as well, by the way. I know what that looks like now.
Yeah, that's true.
Caught on camera.
Don't worry, 24-hour CCTV is here.
He's dead. Yeah, unfortunate.
DP
that's gonna
did not hit on the late frame, so that's a full conversion into a dead block.
See, and
It really hurts when you hit
This is-
that last hit.
this is my thing with a character like Blanca, right? In a game like Street Fighter 5, you do get rewarded when you land a mix-up or you land some sort of gimmick. You will get highly rewarded for it, whether it's a positional advantage you put in the corner or you get like 30-40% depending on your resources. The problem is how many times you have to keep doing those resets and those 50-50s, and therefore Luke just has to hit one button, you know, get the right conversion with the right resource, and you might be dead. So I'm pretty sure Wolfgang's got a plethora of mix-ups in the locker that we still haven't seen. But it will all become null and void if he gets hit by a full conversion into CA once again.
Yeah, that's the and he really needs to be careful at the end of the round about his rush down and off.
He's not ready to punish that. Not many people are ready to punish every target combo every time.
It's hard,
because of
man.
how awkward it is.
Look,
Yeah, because of how awkward
It is hard.
I'll
Yeah,
tell you
for
something,
sure.
right? People aren't punishing Luke's target combo, or not that many people. People do not punish Cody's one. When he does the double light and it's -6, no one does that. No one.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
I
it
wanna
looks so
point
safe.
out-
That's
I want
the
to point
thing.
out something really good from ChrisCCH. That he was hit earlier by the fake jab
look at
dash.
them, they're just
This time he was just saw the whiff jab and immediately ready to check. He's seen it once and he's ready the next time, even though it's like 4 games later or 3
And
games
in
in
that
the fourth
time
game.
of Veggie explaining, no
Exactly.
one's moved. And I'll tell you what,
Dude, they are
the
made of
listen,
stone.
I want the stream team in the back to get comfortable. Wolfgang's not going to move.
Yo,
he did
I
that.
love. Yo, he even
Taunt!
dude, no
The
way.
activation on Chris' side. That activation combo will be so big if he
I
gets
killed
it
him
with
anyway.
That
Wolfgang
was-
with that
Dude,
30-second late walk-up crouch medium kick. You're not going to be ready for that.
is that what you call guerrilla warfare?
Not quite. You'll see it in a minute. All right, tries to cancel, gets the slide.
Wow, the raw slide there. And there you have that stand jab conversion again. That new loop tech. Nice whip punish from Chris though. Really on point this round.
Where's heck? He's out.
No, I once again escaping.
That's minus.
That's
yeah.
such a good tool. Yeah, Chris needs to be aware of that. Try to counter it as good as possible.
Punish. So good.
Ooh, okay. I like that. And the cross cut. Good
Dude,
rebuttal there
this-
from Chris.
Dude, this V-Trigger one is beefed up.
I told
let
you.
me
This
just
trigger's
go-
actually
let me-
decent now.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, all the Blanca players I know, they were super happy about the V-Trigger 1 changes, so, like, I could definitely see why.
And that's a trap.
Whoa,
that was a
was
command grab
sick!
trap. That was a command grab trap.
That was actually sick.
Is that something you can jab punish like Birdie's slide hop, or do you have to do something else?
What, for Luke?
Yeah, like when they do it, instead of jumping, just jabbing, or will it beat the jab?
I can't remember if the command grab's meaty, so it will beat the jab, so people just escape. It's probably better to backdash, but you don't think about
Yeah.
that because you see the grab come in and the jump gives you more of a reward.
Yeah.
So I actually don't blame him for doing that, but that is a command grab trap because actually a French commentator showed me that 3 years ago. I remember.
3 years ago.
He showed me that a very long time ago.
That's been kept under the wraps since.
Well, listen, blanket players like to hide themselves until the big day.
They definitely do.
they
Nice
do.
early light DP to make sure that there's no mix-up with that rainbow ball as it's coming down. Unfortunately, the second time we see a attempted DP get stuffed out by Blanca. Blanca has a great jump here on.
Okay, walks away. No
Really
cross
like
cut there
this
from Chris. I
spacing
think he was
from
already
Wolfgang
committed to the
right now.
jab. but-
Oh, yeah, there's nice punish on the rainbow ball.
Nice with punish. I love it. Stamina kick. Don't let him get away with it. You know you can punish it.
that's
It
so
uses
good.
Uses the slowdown from the V-trigger to get the punish.
The ground shape roll to get the damage as
everything
well.
is
And a
working
double
out.
grab.
You know that definitely not a true grab, but I mean it is hard to react to.
And Blanca's
Yeah.
got a, what's he got, 17 frame dash, I think?
Yeah.
Yeah, and like he's so like his movement is very minuscule in the dash animation itself. Like he doesn't have like big flailing arms or something like, so it's really hard to kind of notice when it starts up.
Oh, the counter
Punish. No
conversion.
V reversal there
Get
from
it,
Chris
no
either.
punish.
Oh, that's kind of scary actually, trying to get the DP on the rainbow roll sometimes.
See,
Did I just see the crouch fierce from Luke
Yeah.
work against Blanca? That was an early crouch hit.
here's the thing, like,
Yo, the dash cancel.
Wolfgang was talking about this before, how he wants to be really evasive and keep you on your toes. It's working out
Yeah.
because what Chris hasn't clocked onto in a couple of situations is when a scramble happens, Wolfgang's immediately jumped. Yeah, see?
Yeah.
He's
It's like
immediately
trying to catch and deal with your bare hands. He's
Well,
slipping away.
that's probably the best way to describe Blanca matchups in general. No answer.
Yeah, exactly.
And that, you know, the hitbox on that jump is so big that you have
Yeah,
to be very ready
it's
to
so
DP.
yeah. It's kind of short but super floaty. Like it's
Not dead yet.
So
He spent the
dangerous,
bar.
but it's
I don't
so-
know if he
yeah.
would have built it in time, but he's dead anyway.
he's dead.
Big dead. And that's the thing, though. Even though you're fighting against this character that's all over the place, you get that 1-2 conversion with that V-skill 1 loop. Definitely a good pick with that V-skill in this matchup. As you mentioned earlier, Jammers.
No, legit. I think the damage output right now is what's keeping Chris in this fight. I think it's what's keeping Chris in this fight.
That's actually a good point.
Definitely is.
Now he needs to use that Blanca ball. There you go. Just use that for a moment before Chris gets that meter.
Oh no!
See,
big jump in.
You need to be really ready to get that DP goal. You need to be crouching. You need to get that motion in. Oh, nice.
Oh, and the unfortunate whiff on the electricity there. You gotta be really close compared to like Street Fighter 4, for example.
ChrisCCH DP, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Cross up.
Oh, that was so nasty! No way he's using the ground shape, bro!
Wow.
And he got a throw from that as well.
He recovered.
What is going on?
Yeah, the gimmick. Yeah, see, right. What did I tell you? What did I tell you?
Before.
Dude, that was sick. That was sick from Chris.
That was one.
He's gonna roll out the corner. He's gonna roll out the corner.
He actually teched it. He used it. He gets punished for his troubles.
That was
such a...
See?
Yeah.
I promise you, when you saw Chris jab the EX roll in the corner, I was not lying to you. I promise you can do that. But because how quick it is, and a lot of people think that Blanca's going to stay in front, people just let it go. That is a gimmick. They're spending a bar to kind of back throw you, and then I think the back throw actually puts him in a legitimate situation to get that next meaty throw, and then loop it all over again.
Yeah, the back throw.
But the trap is, if Chris presses that jab and then Wolfgang does micro fist, he's going to get cross countered. That's the trick.
That was sick, CCH.
Definitely was. Nice crush counter conversion as well. Just using those balls
all over the place.
With funny from Chris.
Using so.
Okay, that's fine. Jump back.
The fear of the command grab.
Do you know what?
You can alter the trajectory of that in the EX version.
Well, no, I was just gonna say like Wolfgang's knowledge of V-Trigger 1 and just how he's optimized it. This is actually brilliant to see. This is actually really good.
+2 on that, but
I like the whip punishes with the
Chris answers that.
One quick conversion that was so good into the target combo.
Yeah, he can't blank a ball.
Uses the view reversal with some great damage.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what you mentioned. He does it into the jump.
Dude, I love how liberal Wolfgang is with his meter. Like he can have 2 or 3 bars. He can just throw out 3 EX moves at the same time.
The double. Nice, that's 3 EX bars used in a very short amount of time, but the life is kind of equal.
That's definitely a pain point, that EX rainbow though. It's so tricky to try to deal with because you can alter the trajectory of that.
Hang on a minute, let's see if he can block this. Yeah, he's gonna air to air instead, so he doesn't because he doesn't want to get crossed up. And that does a lot of damage.
He's gonna go crazy.
Why does he recover that in the blink of an eye?
He just has everything. He just has everything on
this
deck.
character has everything.
Oh no, with punish on the stand, medium punch now. Chris gets to live and gets the jump in with punish on that. No conversion.
What a bait!
Oh no!
What a bait! And that's gonna be it. Thermobaric Blaster to close out that next game, taking Chris 4-2 in this set.
That was sick.
I've got to give credit to
bait.
Chris because he's been keeping up with this. One thing a lot of people have, and you know, Wolfgang was talking about it before, they see Blanca and they don't really want to give him the live day, so therefore they'll just come up with an excuse. Chris is keeping up with the Wolfgang's movement. Obviously, he's not getting every anti-air, but he's able to, like I said, the damage output is keeping him in the dogfight. But what he's also doing is he's able to do air-to-air, mitigate the amount of damage that Wolfgang's getting off of certain situations. So it's actually really good to see.
Now it slowed down a little bit. Oh, he had the whip punish. Wasn't entirely sure if the frame set ended on the recovery. Nice whip punish again, using those forward more normals.
Low.
Get Oki off of that. Yeah, nice.
Well, here's the thing. You know what's interesting? If Blanca goes for... Oh, let's wait for this. Misses level 2, unfortunately. Yeah, if Blanca goes for
nice
oh! That might be dead.
Oh, that was a good bait from Wolfgang.
Could be. Yes, the hit could have converted even further. And that's interesting because Chris had been getting away with a lot of DPs, but one too many and Wolfgang was finally ready. Chris, on the other hand, baited the first EX DP that ever came from Wolfgang.
Oh, that was supposed to be stand medium punch. We got forward medium punch instead. That was unfortunate. Wait for the jump.
The hip punch.
Yeah, he's probably going to wait for the jump shortly.
Nice. Trace chip.
That's the, you know, I want to see how much chip damage that Blanka Ball does because I know Sandblaster does 8, but I don't know how much the Blanka Ball does. So obviously, reducing the amount of chip Blanka's actually inflicted in the neutral overall is fun.
Yeah, then it doesn't really matter that he's doing it because it's just not really working out and the damage is higher on Luke, and that's a huge conversion. Look at that.
He might have to bait again.
Combo wasn't even maximum.
Back the corner, gets back thrown back into the corner.
Nice. Tries to air to air, he's gonna get punished.
So good to escape the corner.
Good check there. That was a brilliant dash check and the delayed jab, but he didn't believe. He went for a tick grab instead. Wolfgang can still win this.
Oh, that was huge.
That should be it.
Big things.
Yeah, that should be it.
That was crazy.
Ouch. That looks like it hurts.
Well,
yeah.
Ground shave
Wild
rolling.
animal.
Listen, ground shave rolling has been doing a lot of work, paying dividends there for
V-trigger
Wolfgang.
one, man.
Well, look, this is what we're talking about because before we actually started, we had a delayed start. We were talking about V-trigger 1 and V-trigger 2, and I'm like, look, V-trigger 1 is actually doing some work with Blanka. It's just that you've seen how much the lightning beast the V-trigger 2 has just been doing over the years.
Yeah.
So people have just slept on this one, and he's already told you the benefits of it. He's giving him the full effect, and walk up target combo already from Chris.
Oh, just tries to use that heavy kick.
Go again.
Throw. Let's see. And then forward heavy kick. And then medium. Oh, into the throw.
No meter on Wolfgang.
Yeah, another
Wolfgang
one? No, okay.
Doesn't have any meter yet, so he can't.
That was a
rainbow
lovely
rope. Now
These traps are so good, but there comes that DP. It's the activation.
He'll firm it. Nah, he'll firm it. He can do. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, okay,
I'm
I
a little
see.
worried
Chris,
every time that happens.
That is
do you know why?
so
Because,
tricky.
because Chris is waiting till the very last minute possible to do, what was it, the light version? I think it is.
Yeah,
so,
like using light.
Going back to what you mentioned before, Becky, good observation. He actually is prone to getting hit early. It's because he's doing it so late. So.
Yeah. And I do think the light is kind of optimal against a character that has a bit funky air approach. As you won't get under if they're a bit too close or something like that. Like the jump medium kick might be a bit tricky if you use the medium.
Gets hit and he charges up another shout to Earth as well. Good jump back there from ChrisCCH.
Yeah, Chris has reacted very well to those command grabs so far.
Nice walk forward.
Nice guts. He just walks up, no fear. No conversion, no punch.
Nice punish, yeah.
His spacing has gotten better as this set's gone along, Chris, so he's not really deterred by the Blanka balls at all. That's fine.
Yo,
He
look
can
at
do
this.
that. No, he can keep
He's
doing
going
that.
out with the meter.
Another one.
So much plus
This
frames.
time, that he finds
Dead.
this time to interrupt.
Dead. Yeah, he's dead.
Oh, that was
Definitely dead.
such a good confirm from Chris right now.
I don't know if that was improvised or he meant to do that because he did what?
Yeah,
back,
exactly.
He did
It
back
looked
medium
mad
punches.
improvised.
He looked mad improvised, but that was so good because of that.
Obviously, like the follow-up route from the activation didn't look improvised. The first part did because he got kind of hit back medium. Then he just did crouch likely activate. I was actually looking at Luke's crouching likely activation earlier because there are a couple of characters in the game when you do crouch likely activate, stop you from walking backwards. You get a full conversion, and as you can see, Chris got the fullest of conversions there.
Big conversions, probably already committed to activating off with the crouching light kick, not seeing that the medium hit in time. And that's how it happened.
But how does Wolfgang adjust though? Because he's abusing V-scale a little bit more, but again, I think the damage output right now is against him. I don't know if he has to. I don't know if he has to preserve resources to really land the hit. Yeah, because look, some of Blanka's tools, Chris is just air to air them or just anti-air them. So
Yeah, jump back jab, jumping medium punch, just GP. They're great answers, but like the V-trigger rainbow roll is definitely gonna beat most of that.
He spaces himself out. Oh, he thought he
That
found
was
the
so
punish,
good.
but Wolfgang already dashed and committed to it, and he knew that that V-trigger would be spent.
Yeah, Blanka definitely has the tools to bypass those projectiles.
He tried to whip punish, didn't have charge.
yeah, but the projectile invincibility damage isn't enough. That's the problem.
I wonder if he could get a punish on that when he is baiting.
Oh no, he put himself in a dangerous spot. Oh dear. Ah! He's dead,
He
yeah,
took
that's
the
it,
bait.
he's dead.
That was so good.
Oh, he's not dead.
not dead yet, huh?
What?
No way!
The overhead was that like a call out? I got gimmicks too.
Oh, he
What
tried to
a
go for the
jab.
ground shave roll.
Yeah, that was a beautiful jab.
His jabs have been pretty on point. You know what, Chris has really worked in his jab game in this character. like where to do the jab, how to annoy people in the neutral.
Like, yeah, if you want to like make your jabs work, this character definitely.
We'll try it again. Different timing from Wolfgang though. She's ready to convert with punish, interrupt with a stand jab, using that stand jab. Oh, all it's worth. That was so good.
Once again out of the corner.
He's just gonna leave him there. He's trying to shimmy him, but it's not working. Gets a dash up throw. He might need another throw. He might need another one.
There you go. Wolfgang also utilizing that standing medium punch.
Trying to cancel, trying to bait something there from Chris. It's not working.
Just activates time roll out, and now he's doing double jabs. This is the second time before he dashes.
Chris is waiting for one hit to go to CA. Oh, wait a minute. He's got to be very careful with his next backwards rolling step if he uses that. Oh, no.
Oh, the trade. No way. That was that crazy clutch.
Now, that's not easy to do because he has to actually be at the precise spacing and he has to be charging to do that, Wolfgang. Yes, they've made crouch immediately easier to whiff punish
on the whiff.
but it's the charge character here, not emotion. Chase him down.
Now he's gonna get some fantastic Gogi from that. Yeah.
He's good at finding the spacing, and I feel like Chris's one hit confirmed with that crouch jab has been phenomenal in this set. Does now spend the bar because he knows that now anything will kill. Should he find it?
Oh, there's the rainbow ball, and he's activating like he's all. He has done several times.
You are sitting down again.
Almost. I respect the intent, but it's not fast enough.
Yeah, it's really hard to do that.
I like this. Gimmick.
Once again, uses the meter to make the mix-up happen.
And that's
that
the situation.
Was sick.
See, now when you look at it at its, when you look at it at large, right, from an objective standpoint, if he throws you to spend the bar to put him in the corner, catch you off guard to back throw you, and then have a mix-up between a throw or a shimmy attempt, spending the one bar for that entirety is actually not a bad call. If you really think about it.
It opens up a sequence.
It opens up a lot of things indeed.
And when he's using it sparingly, so it's hard for Chris to always be ready for it, right? It's been used 3 times. One of the times it's been jabbed. One of the times it's led to a lot of damage. Wolfgang definitely very aware of what he's doing. There's no autopilot gimmick setups. It's just like neutral, 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 and then these hard to blockables that aren't really real necessarily, but he makes them real. Oh, wow.
Ooh, and the empty blanker ball this time. Gotta always be ready for that.
Chris walked out of the range, wasn't really sure maybe which version it was, not ready to stop.
Yeah, I guess he kind of mixes
on landing. I think that is actually a good trade though. You take some damage, but you deplete the meter.
That's
dangerous.
It's a nice payoff there.
I love that gutsy little walk before waiting. Trying to get something out. Not ready again to cross. It's hard.
Nice jump though. Gets out of the corner.
It's better to just hold it.
Alright, trying to grab it, and around the reversal came out, but he's got no meter, so the next time Wolfgang gets in, it's going to be trouble. The next time he gets in, he has to block it out.
He's in.
I love that. It's so good at finding the right moments to interrupt. Just that last bar.
Wolfgang has to do. Yeah, he's dead. Okay.
Oh, he definitely buffered that.
Nah, I was thinking, I was thinking
the heavy one. That was unfortunate. Sorry, jammers.
No, I was thinking Wolfgang had to do fierce into blankable to CA. That's the only thing he was looking for. He had to get something into CA, otherwise he wasn't going to win that.
Oh, gets the crush. The conversion.
Oh, that's
burrito.
Yeah, that's good.
He's baiting with the V skill, right? And then he's dashing forward. And the fireball to counter the V skill then gets beaten by that EX command throw hub. There he's ready.
He tried to make it empty. Yeah, he was so ready.
He sees it once and he's ready the next time. That's
so
sick. A sign of a top player.
I mean, for somebody who overslept, this is pretty good.
Well, you said it.
Again, that is absolutely mad. And look at the conversion and the damage.
He said
counter hit. Oh, the counter hits.
Got him.
That was a sick setup.
So you see those jab interruptions, right? So finally, instead of walking, he's just doing the button into the counter frame trap.
Yeah, I think at that point, when your opponent's like, finding has a very good jab timing on defense, similar to Freedom, that's what I'm seeing in this gameplay here. You just either throw them, or you really have to scope out that timing for a huge counter hit combo.
This is a great round though for Chris. Close to kill. I mean, any decent conversion would kill now.
Now he can just sit back.
Oh, he's just walking
the
in. He's
time
not
being.
giving the full screen. He wants to put him in the corner.
Oh, that's such a gutsy V skill too.
That was
Well,
such
the
a-
thing is, Super
Come
can't
get
catch
me.
him because that Super has no range.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, no. He
He's
wanted
trying
to
to take a
confirm
risk,
that
yeah.
DP, right? Yeah, he wanted to
He might do
confirm that
another one.
DP.
Yo, this damage though. Hello?
Okay, coming back from this. He takes this time. Oh, that's a great punish. With big
That's
conversions.
so
a lot of fireballs
good.
in Wolfgang's face. Dust the
They got ball
reversal.
though.
He's got nothing
Slow bar.
left. He's got nothing left.
Just keep. Yeah, Chris just needs to keep.
Oh, he's got it though.
That didn't kill. No, he didn't get to.
Wow, everyone's
on
whiffing
overhead.
everything but that final hit.
Yeah.
They can't punish it.
No one's punished. Chris finally punishes the blocked overhead. Oh my days, my heart.
Oh,
is
no, punished twice or thrice the target combo. Oh, that's so frustrating.
Everything went down.
Look, man, this
He even
game,
tried to do it.
this game's tough. And it's very tense a lot of times, man. My man can't punish an overhead. My other guy can't punish it. Alright, listen. This
Oh,
Change
we're
now.
back in the lobby.
crazy. Hold on, let me do.
Is this just a breather or are we seeing it?
Maybe.
Could be
It's
a
a
different.
longer
It could
set,
be
so.
a different V skill. Could be a different V trigger.
I would like to see the other V trigger for Blanca because that is definitely a potent V trigger.
Yes, but
It is. V-Shift did tone it down a little bit. I would say.
yes and no. You have to. First of all, the obvious thing is you have to know the setups first. There are a couple of
of
cross-up
course.
Blanca balls that people don't know where to V-shift. Some of them catch you standing. It'll cross you up if you're standing. Some catch you when you're crouching. I think other times, similar to when, because we were talking about Chris and V-Trigger 2, Seth, earlier, I think some of them, like, they look like they're going to cross you up, but it doesn't because you're in block stun the whole time, so it acts as a true string anyway. We'll see. Has he done what Veggie said? Yes. He's changed V-Triggers. He's changed
I
costumes
like
as
it.
well.
I like it. Which is the one he showed
interesting.
us setups, he showed us that it's strong, but I think
Nah, but he
the
needs to-
continuous pressure you get from the V-Trigger 2 is really, really
This
good.
is-
So it's
Let
interesting
me-
to see how much more the V-Trigger will count.
Let me put it to you this way. He has to bring dirt to a UFC fight. That's what he's got to do.
Also, this the season, so he's obviously dressed to the occasion as well.
Nice move punish for Chris. Does not want to go for the activation into the longer combo. Just stays there with the bar. Maybe likes to activate on block. Tries too early with air to air.
Chris, yeah, so he makes amends immediately.
It's the early SF4 anti-air. Block
Right,
the
here it
jumping.
comes.
DP the button.
He's going to wait till that V-Trigger. Yeah, he's going to wait till the V-Trigger runs out. He's going to blanket his way back in.
This is gonna be
Now this is gonna be scary for Chris.
Good block.
my days. Nice block.
Fantastic block. And a good block of the cross-up as well. Yes, he blocked the cross-up. And Chris could have punished that if he knows. But he broke his set.
Oh, it was over it. And that was perfectly spaced to get the auto whiff punish on the attempted punish from Wolfgang. I wonder if that was
Well,
something that he thought about earlier. I need to get that spaced
Look,
over.
don't forget as well, Blanca can charge his overhead now. He can charge it like Nakali can.
Yes, that's true. You don't really remember that. Oh, great whiff punish, but does not convert. Gets a throw anyway. He's now on that double jab before he's dashing. He's been doing that for a while now. We can start checking.
I love how he's using the V skill as well.
Dash up throw. He might have to do another Blanca ball, but he gets interrupted. Great jabs from Chris again. And he's in.
Gonna get the shoulder tackle for Oki.
He's going to take a couple of grabs, and he doesn't.
That's
punish,
nice
but I mean,
punish this
the
time with the
Wolfgang is still
V-trigger.
good though. There's so many guesses right now for
I don't
Chris.
know about that. I don't know about that activation. Yeah, I'm not sure
The
about that
hitbox DP, let's
activation.
go! But you don't have the
He needs
EX now
something
though.
here.
He's dashing, surprise. He's not dashing much, and when he does, Wolfgang just caught off guard, automatically going for the tech. Chris one step ahead with the shimmy.
Do you know what? I probably understand why he wanted to activate there, but I don't know. Me personally, I disagree with that because he could have the bar to play with full screen. I think he wanted to gimmick him out.
Blanca balls once again. No meter, just has to deal with this. Nice, nice interrupt once again.
now
Yeah.
for the whiff punish on that.
He's so
light ball. And gets the shimmy. This was looking so strong for Wolfgang, but right now it's looking like all Chris.
Shimmy again.
The damage and the Oki.
Shimmy again! Oh no!
There it is. He's been falling for those. Chris is so good at setting that up. Oh, and the whiff back medium? That's for extra style.
Was that payback for the taunt earlier? That's my own taunt.
Take that, take that, take that.
Well, right now it is 7-4 to ChrisCCH. Putting on that clinic again. As this, see, this is the thing I've got to ask Wolfgang. I'll note this question down. I'm going to ask him later because it kind of ties into the other question I asked him. But again, for someone, like I said, for somebody who hasn't really played this matchup, I mean, is it the loot factor? Or is it just Chris's like accumulation of knowledge over the years just playing Street Fighter 5?
I guess, and I mean, the matchup might be a little bit similar to some character he has played, right? So he's applying maybe some of these things. Oh, nice conversion counter. It's that medium punch into the jab target combo. We've seen so much usage of the target combos.
It's the back throw though.
Goes down again.
Right, if he blocks, he's gonna get the cross up. Good block. Yeah, he knows it.
Yo,
And
that was so sick.
He had the answer.
Chris!
I'm telling you, no one else in the entire world had that answer.
Legit. No, I would make it. I don't think anyone else had the
That was too
answer.
good. What?
I know. I agree with you. I don't think anyone else had the answer.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that was
crazy.
that was insane.
This is why Chris is one of the best right now. Very nice.
I think in general it's really interesting to say that Wolfgang thinks this might be even Blanca favored matchup, while someone like BTV told me that he thinks Luke beats Blanca.
Yeah, because
Always
I think this is the
Yeah.
battle of endurance. We're seeing it in full effect as to why I wouldn't think. He's gone down.
Actually seeing Luke's crouch fears work, that is an early organize.
It's gonna once again.
Nice blocking, but dude, the cross-up finally works out and
Last
you
hit.
fly.
So
Fists will
good.
fly on this location, baby.
There you go. Staying in this dogfight. Using that rolling cannon and
Blanca's
the
will fly.
omnidirectional.
Just throws it out there.
I love it.
Like, calm down, bro.
Again, I feel it's okay for Wolfgang to be hit by that because a metered Luke is a dangerous Luke.
Yeah,
Exactly.
well, okay, he's got no meter now, but Chris's defense has been, like, immaculate. So, the thing is, even if you're making him splurge the bar, it's hard to get in and open up Chris
That's true.
comfortably.
That's true. Closing in though, V-trigger on both sides.
Bait him. Yeah, he tried to bait
Chris
something.
basically have it. Yeah.
Oh, big stat
For a
fierce.
good 5 seconds. Into reps the standing heavy kick this time.
Oh, but this time Wolfgang answers
comes.
back with the normals.
Oh, he walked away.
walked
Yeah,
out.
he's seen it. He knows it. He's seen it. And the punish as well.
And that was greedy on Wolfgang and didn't want to spend any of that bar.
Yeah, I didn't want to make the
Got him.
Oh,
That
big.
was a beautiful dash. No convert. Could you convert
Gets
there,
it
Dan?
anyway.
Yeah, but I think you have to cancel it immediately. I don't think there's like a late
Immediately,
cancel.
yeah, I think so as well.
Yeah, I don't think there's a late cancel for the rolling cannon follow. I think you have to immediately see it. I don't think he immediately saw it. But anyway, he got that game. Still staying in this fight. Again, this has actually been pretty damn close regarding what's happened. And again, someone's being as elusive as they can be. And it seems to be still a bit of a struggle.
But I do like that when Wolfgang is slowing down, he is ready with whiff punishes. He knows how to space those. He doesn't really whiff that much. So he's definitely showing us what he said, that he has the understanding of the neutral game, but he also likes to bring in, as you said, Cameron, the elusiveness to his game plan. In and out, in and out.
Oh, okay, nice walk under.
Walk under there.
Oh, I didn't know you could do that.
Too early.
Slick from Wolfgang.
Does not want to take now.
Trying to stop him from backdashing.
Oh, there you go. Stand medium punches. This is where the fun begins for Chris.
Drops the combo though, Chris. And Wolfgang starting to close it up. Close it in, closing in.
Do you know? I feel Wolfgang's been doing more work outside of V-trigger than the V-trigger swap.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Now, obviously, yes, this is
I don't-
V-trigger.
yeah.
That's stating the obvious, but I think he's been doing more work without the V-trigger too. Than with
Yeah, the V-trigger definitely hasn't been
Is he stunned? No, he's not.
the straight up answer, I think.
I think with Visco won, that would have been stunned.
Yeah. Oh no!
Oh, just tried to walk.
He's out. Cross
No
up.
way, he got it, but he didn't believe, so he already
And the
committed to
ambiguous
the
jump
whip.
as well.
Yeah. Not gonna use it.
He needs to
Still
save it.
has room for one more. Oh, got greedy.
It's not that he's getting greedy. It's because Chris has avoided the cross up like 3 out of 4 times. So he's trying to see if Chris is ready for the cross up or trying to punish him.
Everything's done. Try and walk out of it, maybe jump. He had a round to give, but now meat advantage, Chris. Oh, nice. It's been a while since he used that bait. Chris not ready this time.
Oh,
punish
this
him
time
now,
he
and
gets-
he's so ready. He's not afraid when he sees
Yeah.
the way that Blanca moves. Probably very ready for it. Another whip punish. I love it.
I think the EX1 is the only problem.
Sun's racking up. Back throw will do it. He done the wrong
Went
throw.
for the forward throw. Interesting.
Oi! He doesn't even
Gets
matter.
another one.
The no risk
Beautiful
mix.
movement.
And a perfect KO with the no risk mix.
Boy, that was nuts. What a round from ChrisCCH. Still proving to you how much of a high-level player is. Remember, he's part of Street Fighter League US. If you aren't watching that, please go and watch that. He's had some very good matches. I'm going to ask him about that later as well. But yeah, listen, it looks like outside of Dalsin, no matchup phases him right now. With the way he's playing this one, a matchup that he's probably got less than 0.5% like stats on his CFN playing. Doesn't look phased about this one at all.
Okay.
Rotec.
If throw tech won't work, says Luke.
It won't work.
No charge, just a jab. Brave forward walk.
Stat medium to answer back.
Oh,
that was
neutral jump
good.
this time.
Super early answer, yeah.
And we saw in the forward jumps, whip a couple times, get hit, so he's reverted to the neutral jump.
Stun. Not quite. Here we go.
Gun dudes.
Yeah. There we go.
Gets caught.
Back throw. Can he get another one?
This
we
is
go.
the
Dude, that
round
was
where we
good.
see the V-Trigger make the work.
That's Spanish.
And
He's dead.
That's big.
And
Yeah.
that's it. And finally, he gets to showcase the strength of V-Trigger to its fullest potential.
Well, I mean, when things go your way, and if Chris did V reversal, listen, if Chris did a V reversal, okay, but he's gaining that momentum. He needs this right now, Wolfgang.
It's a good start for that. Gonna go for
Chris
the
is so gutsy. He's just not afraid. He knows that this time it's a bait and gets the counter conversion with a jab.
That was crazy. Wolfgang with the throw and all, and he's gonna get a big punish. This
Just saw the one that got
Yeah,
unblocked
this,
before.
right. That's
This
what I
doesn't
didn't know
sound
he
to
could
be
do.
good.
He's done that like multiple times
once again,
now.
go for that
I didn't know you could
roundhouse
dash
setup.
do electricity after them being so high for the extra juggle point. I didn't know that. Is he dead? Yeah. Bam.
yeah, he's
Oh,
dead.
the double one.
And that wasn't even
Another
finished.
one.
Yeah, that wasn't finished. He still had one more move he could have added to that combo.
Yeah, he did.
Win.
Okay. Double electric
Okay,
thunder.
okay.
Then ended with the rolling cat.
Just like you said, Jammers, like this is a good start for momentum if he's ever gonna get that mounted at this
Get back
point.
into
Well,
the game.
Here's the
Yeah,
thing.
exactly.
Like I said, I still stand by my point. I feel he's doing more work without the V-Trigger than with the V-Trigger 2. But when
Yeah.
he is using the V-Trigger 2, the problem was before, when he started using it, Chris avoided the cross-ups and he just dealt with it comfortably. Then he started doing the normal stuff and getting punished. He just has to find that balance to just mix things up and know the right timing, because Chris is not going to block them all.
Yeah, you can only block for so long to get that V-trigger.
Making it a mix-up with the V-skill, and
Oh,
he's just
nice
like,
jump.
Chris is just like, I'm going to deal with the mix-up, actually jump instead.
Yeah.
And look at that, 35% or something. Nice, follow down, chase
Yeah.
down. Has to find a shimmy, no bite from Wolfgang.
Chris is already kind of adjusted for the normal rainbow ball.
Here comes the new combo, this is what I'm talking about, and then he didn't even need the EX, but he just ends it with the heavy rising
So
rocket.
much damage.
Oh yeah, there's plenty more left on the table.
Yeah, there's plenty more if you feel like it.
What a crush. What a start to this round.
Oh my
In the round
god,
number
and into the
29.
corner we go.
Yeah, the strength of Luke is really showing a nice V-shift, but you don't get a punish. It'll be like 0 or -1 or something like that.
Shimmy, starts racking up,
this
he's in
is
trouble.
so bad right now. Stealing away this one.
Here we go.
It's gonna
Yes.
be nice
And
V-shift,
another
but he just
one.
chases him down.
Yo, he went for the biggest neutral jump?
Yeah, but oh, he's dead.
Yeah, we have.
Bow.
Yeah, that's
Dude,
done.
that was sick.
He's dead. Jesus. All it took was one V-shift, preserve those resources, ends it with the Annihilator CA. But what was crazy, right, is when Chris avoided the first cross-up, he V-shifted, and then what did Wolfgang do? Come right back in, there's another cross-up waiting for you. That's what's crazy about that V-trigger. It's just cross-up upon cross-up upon cross-up. But then, what you have to do, and this is one of the reasons why V-shift is very powerful against Blanca, especially after throw tech situations. If there's a fair bit of distance, Blanca players, 9 times out of 10, they're going to do the heavy Blanca ball, be ready with the V-shift and punish. That's what you've got to be ready for.
True.
So we might be going back to the other V-trigger now. Or?
Yeah, I can see him going back to the other V-trigger. The other
Yeah.
V-skill, I don't agree with. It probably could
No,
work.
yeah.
Yeah, at
because
this point it would be like super late.
it's not super late, because look, again, if it doesn't say 10, then you haven't lost yet. That's how I see it. If it doesn't say
If
10,
it
you
doesn't
haven't
say
lost
10, it says 9.
it. Oh, well, yeah, this is it. You gotta-
Or other, or
Am I
any other
lying
number.
or am I right?
I mean, well, you left out some important parts, but it doesn't matter.
Well, anyway, let's see what the V system change is. Because again, I do like Blanka's V system. It's got some stuff to work with.
Let's see that, Luke.
Yeah, V-Trigger 1. Okay.
Yeah.
He's tried. He's exhausted the V-Trigger options, and I think he's just found there's more stability, maybe
Yeah, that's true.
comfortability
Yeah.
as well.
Especially for a
With-
longer set.
And that's good. He got some good wins with the V-Trigger 2 as well.
Maybe if he tried V-Trigger 2 first.
Yeah. Kind of steal those away. And then bust out the V-Trigger.
It's a longer
Punish
set.
for that.
That's always the question.
But what a jump. What a jump time. It looked like he was going up for a button. Wolfgang presses.
Oh, that's going to be big. I don't
there
think it's going to be
it is.
stunned. Not quite. He didn't spend the bar, so that's going to be dead anyway.
The barrage of the mediums.
All right. Looking good here. He's on the verge of winning his next first to 10 on the set series here. ChrisCCH with a different character. Unless Wolfgang has something to say about it. That looks fake.
Definitely looks fake. It was proven to be fake by Chris himself. Punish. It's just so unafraid. This is what you need to do. You need to know when to do these things against Blanka. Okay, here Wolfgang.
Right, if he lands a
Here's your
jump in or a
chance with the
counter hit,
activation.
he's dead. I promise you that. A jump in or a counter hit, anything.
This is it for Wolfgang. He really needs to make it work.
Oh,
He's
that's
kind
what
of
it
is.
falling
For it.
apart. Looks to be falling apart a little bit, yes.
Yeah, and the sweep even just kind of
What's heck?
Protect
still has
1, 2, 3.
He's got to use a projectile
Chance here.
invincible move, but he's going to put himself at risk to losing the game. That could have been it. That's it. That's it.
Oh, that was so good.
And that's it.
So brave from Chris. Oh, and the trade.
And again,
What an answer.
he's been on point with that the entire set. And ladies and gentlemen, he takes his second first to 10 on the sets series there. Let me see the GGs in the chat. He said he didn't play this matchup. He overslept. But what he did as well is he came and delivered for you guys on the show. Let me see those GGs. You know what? He was just on point with how to fight Blanka just in general as a character. Well
Can we-
played to Chris. Well played to Wolfgang as well. But the show isn't done yet because we still need to talk to these guys, delve more into that matchup, hear their notes, ask them some further questions, and then close things out with SF6. So while you guys are saying GG's in the chat, we're going to take our quick 5-minute break because we are due that. And when we come back, we're going to have Wolfgang and ChrisCCH on the other side. See you in a bit.
Keep coming. Keep coming. Keep coming. No! Hey, stop! Watch out!
Safety first, bud.
You my new recruit? Yeah. Gotta say, you're photogenic. Again, you can call me Luke. Or just Coach.
Spinning bird kick.
Rising uppercut!
Spinning bird kick. Now then.
Jungle House, Edelman, open for business! Shall we begin? Showtime! Step into the ring! Don't expect me to be a pushover. I'm so strong!
is a new challenger. Fighter 6. Scrap heap. Ready. Start.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to tonight's episode of Sets featuring ChrisCCH and Wolfgang. If you are just joining us, well, you actually might have had a little bit of leeway because we did have a delayed start, but the scoreline is next to me over there. The set has concluded. No more games. You're going to have to catch it on the archives. Just subscribe to Capcom Fighters on the YouTube channel, or you can subscribe to them or follow them on the Twitch channel we're on right now. So,
I would like to say, though, Jammers.
What would you like to say, Veggie?
Are you ready?
Not really, but go on.
Okay, let's go. If they are just joining us now, they are incredibly late. That's all I wanted to say.
Is that it?
I also want to say one thing.
You're not going to reprimand them or no?
I want to say one thing.
Do better.
I don't know.
So,
we've all gone silent here because somebody wanted to say something and they're not saying it.
I wanted to say... Out with it! I want to say that, Chris, you woke up on the right side of the bed. A little late, but you did.
Well, I'm glad that we moved past that point because I don't know why you wanted to say that. Anyway, right, Wolfgang, Chris, can you guys hear me loud and clear once again?
Yes.
Yeah,
There
sure,
we go,
for sure.
perfect. So, Chris, congratulations on winning that. Yeah, it seems that someone who doesn't really play this match or play it at all seems to be just fine in regards to that. But you got to talk to me about this. What's your general game plan going into the Blanca matchup, Chris? Talk to me about that.
Yeah, I mean, probably the biggest thing is trying to figure out how to get around the VCL 2, which I think I didn't do very well overall. Actually, right after the set finished, Samurai messaged me and said, good job, and then told me that I should use forward heavy punch against the VCL 2, so maybe that's what I'm supposed to do. I don't know. I was planning on just kind of like using Fireball, and then if I had a good readout, I would jump it. And then other than that, I kind of just wait for him to come to me. The main thing I was lapping was how to whip punish a lot of his buttons. It was like surprisingly difficult, so I was trying to move around a lot so I could whip punish stuff with like walk up, stand light punch. But other than that, I kind of just wait to see how he wants to play. If he wants to play like a really slow turtle game, then I'll use more Fireball and I'll walk up and try to do like some stagger pressure and move into ranges that are good for me. But if he's going to be playing really aggressive, then I'm just going to kind of sit there and punish whatever approaches he tries to use. So that's kind of my overall strategy.
Okay, no, I like that. There's a mixture of playing defensive, going offensive if need be, or trying to challenge. Because your air to airs against a lot of the rainbow rolls was pretty good, and obviously your spacing over time it got much better to the point where it's just like absolute perfection against the regular blanket balls was actually great to see. So good stuff on there. You did mention that Blanka's buttons can be annoying to whiff punish. I do agree with you in that regard, but we do have Wolfgang here. Wolfgang, would you say that's a safe assumption from people who don't play the character? Is his buttons easier to whiff punish, or do you think they are difficult for a lot of people to whiff punish?
I will say this, as a character, as Blanka, like he's always kind of been like that deceptively, like, oh, where is this hurt box kind of character, right? So when you're fighting someone that's willing to play the ground game and play footsies with you like that, it could be kind of weird to tell where he's actually standing. Like I noticed there was one time, I think early on in the set, I whiffed the button and he tried to whiff punish it and it whiffed, and it's because he didn't stand in the right spot. So I tried going for like, I knew he would like do a button and walk back, so I tried to walk with him and low forward. And I was like, oh man, it whiffed. And then he whiff punched it. So I think he started adapting to where I was actually at on the screen. Not to say I don't abuse that, but I mean, it's just like a passive kind of thing, you know, like they think he's there when he really isn't. I will say though, his heavies are actually deceptively very easy to whiff punish. If you like stand in the right spot and like wait. It's like trying to whiff punish and Bison stand fierce, except the hurt box lingers, I think, a little bit more, and he's a lot more wider. So it's a little easier to hit him. And he's also easier to jump. Like I think at one point I did V skill 2. I charged my V skill 2, and he was Chris was trying to walk up and be like, okay, I'm assuming he's gonna do it now, right? But then I whipped the heavy because I thought he was gonna hit a button. So I did heavy and he jumped, and like that was a punish because he jumped on the heavy. So you could jump on his heavies and you could whip punish for sure. Definitely something that's possible.
I remember that exact moment because I was thinking that that long walk, was that the thing that baited you, that he walked for so long before you pressed?
Yeah, when he jumped on me, I was like, I wonder if he was looking for me to press or if he was looking for V skill 2. Either or, it was the right call. That's why I was like, you got it. Because it was a point like I would use V skill 2 or try to charge it, and he would walk up and try to punish me for charging it. So I'm like, I wonder why he's walking it now. I have it already. And then he jumped, and I was like,
Was that deliberate on your part, Chris? Did you walk extra long to get a jump in on the heavy, or were you reading something else like the V skill?
I was reading the V skill. I didn't expect to press the heavy, but
okay. Yeah, I was like, dang, he knew for the heavy. He knew I was gonna press. Like, sheesh. Like,
listen, no, being honest is the best form policy. So let me ask you this as well, Wolfgang. Why the V trigger swap? You were doing fine for a while with V trigger 1. Did you feel like you've exhausted all the options and you needed to spice things up a little bit? Or was there another reason why you went from V trigger 1 to V trigger 2?
Yeah, so I know that I've played against different styles of Lukes all the time. You know, they might seem very like cut and paste, but like in the competitor's like perspective, you can tell like a certain style versus another one's, right? No matter how quote unquote textbook the character is. If I could tell the Luke player is trying to be I wouldn't say passive, but very, very reliant on the fireballs, regardless of me having a counter to it, I will pick V trigger 1 and slow down the match. But it's been in a longer set. If I'm noticing they're starting to pick up on that, I'll see how much knowledge they have on V trigger 2. And then when I noticed, I was like, oh nah, Chris knows how to V shift on the right spots. All right, I'm going back to V trigger 1. Like I try to see if I could, just because, you know, like when you're down on the set, I'm thinking like, okay, how can I steal some games back? Steal, robbery, V trigger 2. Okay, I'm picking V trigger 2 for a little bit. And then when I saw he knew the answers, I was like, all right, I'm going back.
So wouldn't it have been easier? Well, I say this, but this is just me again, not Blanka player, just looking at it from the outside in. Wouldn't it have been better to try V trigger 2 first and then long it out with V trigger 1, or was the way you handled it more comfortable for you?
It was more comfortable for me because I try to go into every Luke. I mean, I can't go into every Luke matchup expecting that they know the Blanka matchup, right?
Yeah.
So because of that, I'm like, because of that, I know that most Luke players are confident in their fireball because no one really has an answer for it outside of a few, right? Blanka has a direct answer for it. Projectile invisible moves. He has V trigger 1, which, you know, forward ball is frame 1 projectile. I mean, yeah, V trigger 1 forward ball is frame 1 projectile invincible. So it's just like, boom. If I can react in time, or if I read it, I could just, you know, stop it. And most people can't do that, even with meter like that. You know, they don't have like a clear direct I'm stopping you type move, right? So like, that's why I'm like, okay, I'm going into any match, I'm going to just play it out with this, right? If I start to feel like I'm leaning off in a longer set, like a 1st to 10, then I'm like, okay, now let me do like the standard, quote unquote. You know what I mean? Because most people, when they fight V-Trigger 2 Blancas, they just fight the basic stuff, right? I had more advanced stuff to see. Okay, what do you really know? And when I saw Chris, like I went for like the double crossover the corner. He did V-shift the last second. I'm like, man, I had a feeling. I was like, there's no way he knew that, bro. And he did. He called the right shot on it. I was like, nice. You know, so.
Was that something you had labbed with another character previously, Chris, or did you just wing it?
I mean, I love this matchup a lot with Luke. I just haven't played it. Like, I go into training mode a lot, and I was actually, I felt like a genius when he switched to V-Trigger 2, because that's actually what I was expecting, was that he would start the set with V-Trigger 1.
Okay.
That was my exact read. So when he went to character select, I'm a genius.
I'm a genius. Yeah. Because when I switch, I'm like, I know Chris is probably thinking like, yeah, I got him now. He gonna go to the cheap stuff, right? Like,
no way.
Well, look, man, if things fall in line and they're part of your plan, then I count it as a win. So, no, well played. He did the work, and like Chris has told me before, he sits in the lab and he studies a lot, and it's paying off in fine form indeed. 2 questions about Blanco once again, Wolfgang. First question is, how badly did V-Shift hurt him, or did it hurt him at all in your opinion?
So it's I don't want to sound like I'm disrespecting a player base here. I think at low elo level Blanca play, it hurt those kinds of players, especially for people that can react to a move. Like if you can V-shift Honda's headbutt, you can V-shift Blanca's Blanca ball, right? And especially what most people don't know about with V-Trigger 2, since you can't cancel, it's weird how the properties work. You can't cancel for Blanca ball into Beast Cannon, which is the V-Trigger 2 ball follow-up. You can't cancel that on whiff. So technically, when you're V-shifting that ball, it counts as a whiff. So I can't like OS it or anything, right? I can only do it but here's the thing. If I do the if you V-shift the Beast Cannon itself and it's not the last one, then I can buffer again and punish your empty V-shift.
Which is what you did in the set. You got a double, you went for a cross-up, Chris V-shifted it, and you crossed him up again, which was unfair, but...
Nah, man, it's Luke. What you mean? Unfair? It's Luke. Like,
listen, people lose games and tournament games for cross-ups like that. I hope you know.
I know. But nah, like it's just I don't. Oh yeah, at low elo level, it definitely did hurt him. At the higher level, depending on what type of player, like you could tell if someone's very fidgety or like very finicky on like defense. I noticed Chris was a lot more. He had his like, you know, fidgety moments, but more often than not, he was pretty like patient, right? So something I tested early, I started doing light ball at a range to see if he would like jab OS punish, like delay jab and punish it, which he did plenty of times later in the set. But I was like, okay, is he going to do this if I had V-Trigger 2? Because that one set where he V-shifted medium ball and did super as a punish, I was like, I did medium ball because I was like, there's no way. He hasn't tried V-shifting on reaction to light ball yet, so he's not going to V-shift. And then he did it. If I had did light ball there, I could have baited it and crush counted it. But I just, at that point, I was like so far in, like, he's not going to V-shift it.
Okay, no,
You know?
that's interesting. The other question, this is what I wanted to ask you before. This is just my philosophy of blanket plays. So normally when we have, you know, locals, weeklies, onlines, whatever, I don't see a blanket playing site. But you dangle a little bit of money in front of them, and you all show up out of nowhere. So I just wanted to know.
Oh my god!
I just wanted to know: do blanket players just wait until the money's on the line or the big prizes are on the line before they bring them out? Because are they worried that people will figure them out in short sets?
Figure them out? Nah.
I gotta ask this because you are one of the best blanket players out there. I need to understand. This is my philosophy on blanket players. You need to tell if it's true or not.
I can't speak for. I've told myself I had to force myself to do this. I cannot speak for the Blanca player base and what they do. Their actions are not mine to take responsibility for. Like, it is what it is. I don't know what they be doing out there. I hang with a lot of them. I hang with a good amount in the Blanca Discord that are actually sick and they know what, you know, they put their minds together. Shout out to the Blanca Discord. But like outside of that, bro, I can't. And I'll be seeing like my friends that stream lose a certain like Blanca play. I'm like, you lost to that? Come on, man. Like, you play me. Come on, I'll taught you back. You know, so it's like I don't know. For them to go out in tournament and just like do that, I didn't even know they do that. So that's news.
I mean, listen, this is just something I've noticed with a couple of blanket players from you guys over the years. I'm like, I don't see these guys in locals or whatever. Maybe I'm not looking hard enough. Maybe my research is not that thorough. And then when a big tournament comes up, Out of nowhere, I just see blanket players. I'm like,
Hey, I
wonder why you showed
you
up
know,
today.
Actually, Jammers, I gotta add to that. We actually have this kind of an inside joke about VTV in our scene.
He does that all the time.
Where he does
Bill?
exactly
He does
that.
that
He
all the
does
time.
exactly that.
He pulls up on the big boy tournament.
No,
like,
let
what's
me-
good?
let me-
You
right,
know,
let me-
catch up, like,
What's good?
let me tell you this, Wolfgang, right? So the Intel World Open last year, literally, right? I think VTV entered 1 or 2 like online tournaments, and you just see him on ranked or whatever. And then the moment they announced the Intel World Open, this guy just showed up out of nowhere, and I said, this guy's gonna go far because nobody knows what he's gonna do. Like, that's where my philosophy came from. That's part of it anyway. I'm like, do you people just show up? Have you got a Discord? Have you got a subsection in your Discord, the blanket Discord that says tournament runs, and you're like, quick, go to this one?
Who are we sending? They're just discussing who to send. Like, okay, let's give Ilio a chance this time. Illusion
Drop
a chance
them in
this
a
time.
box in the tournament.
That's just me, but you know what? That's just fine. It was great to hear. Also, Chris, I gotta say, like from when I watched you last year, and even when I played you back in 2019, your defense has just improved like tremendously. So really good improvement there. I really want to congratulate on that. Your defensive choices in general, what do you think about when you're on defense? Because Veggie noticed this, like your jab timings and just like your choices, which is bang on point. What do you think about when defending?
Yeah, I mean, I think the first thing you should think about when defending is trying to beat anything that you can react to, like remove as much guessing as possible. So like, the first thing I'm going to do is like, if I'm just playing safe on defense, then I'm just going to let them throw me. And then anything they do after a throw, I can at least somewhat react to. Like, even if they're going to walk up and go for a throw again, there's very few characters in the game that aren't going to have like a pretty noticeable walk forward animation when they're going for that second throw. And then anything else they try to do, like, you know, if they try to mix in something like a dash or a jump forward or Wolfgang's special block a ball over.
Oh my god!
Or anything like any
the
of that
classic.
stuff. You can all react to that. So that's like the first thing I'm going to look for is making sure I'm checking any of those. And then obviously part of it comes down to a read, but it's sort of like somewhat read and somewhat reaction. When I see someone go for a walk up throw, I can react at least to the fact they're walking forward, and they might go for a walk up into like walk up and then do a button that'll catch my jab, but that's sort of unusual. It's more like a hard call out on my jab. Another thing is if they shimmy, you can kind of react to that as well. Like if someone's walking back and you see they're walking back and you don't need to tech, but if someone's like walking forward into your range and trying to throw you, you can sort of semi-react and tech there. So I try to make it as reactionary as possible. And then also just on top of that, but when you play reactionary like that, people kind of start to move weird to bait out your reactions. And at that point, when you see someone's moving weird, then you stop reacting. You're just immediately pressing your button. Beat them that way. So that's kind of my general defense.
I saw a little bit of that, yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like a very good mixture. And that takes a lot of work because that's not something you just learn overnight. It looks like that takes a while to kind of master that.
I actually have one question.
Go for it, please.
So, Wolfgang, I wanted to ask specifically because of Blanca. Do you think Blanca in general has trouble dealing with Luke's jab? Because some characters with like stubby normals seem to have like issues in specific ranges.
Yeah. I don't necessarily think that as on at face value he has an issue. I will say that it depends on the style, because like I've always said this to people that ask me like, how do you feel, like, you know, because people are asking me, how do you feel about fighting Chris? How do you feel about fighting Chris? I'm like, he loves to play the mid range. That's something I noticed. He will walk up in your face and just like be at that range no matter what. So like he would do like round start. He would round start, walk up, and even if I was trying to like backdash out of the V skill, he would catch me stand jab. I'm like, oof, right? So and I know he also has a lot of like whip traps that lead into stand jab or stand strong again, or even crouch jab into light knuckle, right? So I don't think in general he has an issue with his jab, because Blanca has a lot of counter pokes to it. If I, you know, as a read, like stand fierce, his own stand jab as options. I think it's a little harder when you're on the back foot and you rely on charge, if you're trying to like commit to a whip punish rather than just little tap back like stand medium punch or something to tap it back. And when it comes because again, like I said before, like if it was an interaction mid screen, I would do a light, he would walk back because he's looking for me to overextend with a walk forward button, you know, like footsies, right? Stand jab is good for that kind of thing, and I'm just like, dude, like, oh my God, it's such a good button. Like, I don't think it's not. Like I said, I don't think it's on paper, right? If every Luke in the world, like, try to apply, if they try to apply stand jab in their game plan, right? Not everybody will succeed the same way Chris does. The way he uses that jab is wild. Like I'm just like, dude, I can't. Like I'll try to initiate by going in stand jab, like walk back stand jab. I'm like, sheesh. You know?
No, that was really good.
I'd like to ask something else, Wolfgang, because I saw you first, like, just to give an idea of what I'm talking about. You would do, for instance, a throw, jab, dash, throw, and then Chris would start checking that because he was looking for the jab instead of just the dash, right? But then you started doing 2 jabs and then dashing. Is that, and I have actually not really seen other players do double jab then dash to catch the auto timing from the first jab. Is that something you made up yourself, or did you find it while watching other players play? Did it just come to you? How did that come to you?
It's a mix of both, because I noticed like I took this strategy from watching Urian players play, not the double jab, but in general, like watching Urian players, they'll do like cross short dash. I'm like, bro. But then I saw Shine, you know, he plays like, when he was playing Ibuki, he would like walk in neutral, like wait. He would like, you know, he likes to creep walk a little bit in neutral. He plays very like slow early in the round. He do like, well, you know, creep walk backward, crouch jab. He would whiff a lot of crouch jabs, so that way you couldn't react to the dash when he did it. And I was like, oh, that's kind of smart. So I started applying it in my game plan. If I back throw midstream, or if I like do a certain knockdown that I don't get Oki from, I'll do a jab then dash. And once some players are used to that timing, I'll do double jab, because now it's like you're used to a certain rhythm, right? Yeah. Now I'm going to give you another rhythm. Now you have to raw react as if I never did the jabs to begin with.
Yeah. Watch how you just
very smart.
Yeah, watch how you just get a bunch of players everywhere just doing double jab dash.
Yeah, I think that might happen now, because the double jabs were seldom checked. The double dash jab, double jab dash. Sorry. Yeah. So that was, I don't know why, for instance, more Urian players aren't doing the double jab dash. Yeah. Because they are the inventors of the crouch light kick dash, as you mentioned. But I thought that was really smart.
No, good tech. No, good. And that is kind of creative on offense as well in a game that's got, you know, fast dashes. And Blanca does have that fast dash.
16 frames, bro.
Wow. Oh, 16. I thought it was 17. Okay, my mistake.
16 and the animation itself is very like as well.
It's a hop at this point. He's got a hop.
I love exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like the layers, it's all about the movement. Like his dash mixed in with the hop, mixed in with jump. It's like you can't check all 3. It's impossible.
Yeah, definitely see why you gravitate toward this character.
Yeah, he's fun.
It's fun indeed. Right, Chris, I wanted to ask you regarding your, because this is completely non-related to the set you just happened, your SFL experience. Looks like it's going well so far, because when I last spoke to you, you weren't part of SFL, and lo and behold, you're now part of it, Team CLG. How has your experience been thus far with what's been shown at SFL US? Because I think, what was it, your latest match? You done a ChrisCCH, you worked with back medium punch and then just killed Oil King? That must have been fun.
Yeah, I think that was my favorite set so far. Overall, I feel like I've been playing kind of not too good at SFL. Like against IDOM, I think that might have been the greatest choke of potentially Street Fighter V history. I think I lost like impossible to lose situations at least 3 times in that set. Against Angry Bird, I think I played pretty well overall. And then who did I play after Angry Bird? Oh, Mono. Mono was pretty good too. So I guess those 2 matches I think I played pretty good. But against IDOM and Punk, I definitely think I played pretty bad. But it is nice having Samurai there. Samurai is someone who's like helped me out with my mentality pretty much ever since I started competing, and he's also a fellow Luke player, so he pretty much understands how the character works and all of the matchups and everything. So having him there to kind of reassure me and give me advice is something that's super helpful, along with just like Anton as well. He's like my best friend, so having him and just a kid behind me too it honestly helps me play a lot better, because I'm like in a tournament by myself and I can feel that I'm playing bad. It's easy to kind of get tilted or get down on myself, but having those guys behind me really helps.
Yeah, no, like legit, because I was going to ask you another question, but I think you've kind of answered it already. It's because you went on SFL before, but you're now there, and it's like, what was it like just being in the same environment as all those world-class players, you know, EVO champions, Capcom Cup champions, guys that have been consistent in SFL in the past years? So that must have been a bit daunting at first, but you said you had someone in Samurai, shouts to Samurai by the way, just helping you along the way. And it kind of, as the matches go by and the weeks go by, I see more and more Chris coming out. So does it take a while to bloom? Because Veggie can probably speak first-hand experience as well. It's not easy for any of you, because that's creme de la creme. Right, you're coming into a room, 24 guys, that are some of the best in your region, like, damn, if I lose, this is going to be rough. Like, so, I mean, over time, I think you kind of just shown it. And obviously, there's still more weeks to come overall. But no, it looks really fun. And you guys are having the time of your lives, having a laugh. You, Samurai, Just a Kid, and Filipino, man. You look like you got, what was it, 2 Lukes, Jury, and Rose. Is that the team roster? The character roster?
Yeah, that's the character roster. And yeah, it has definitely been pretty fun. And like going into that environment, it is definitely kind of stressful playing against like all these world-class players. And I'll say that I wasn't even expecting to be put up anchor as many times as I did. Like we made like a whole spreadsheet of who we would want to go up against each player. And when I was looking at that, I wasn't thinking I'd be going up anchor that many times. But then UIU was the first time so far where I wasn't anchor in that match. And it's a lot less stressful when you're playing a 10-point match versus a 20-point match. The 20-point matches are very stressful because you know you're putting basically your entire team on your back. Like no matter what, if you lose that, either your team is losing or it's going to a tiebreaker. Like the best case scenario is if you lose your anchor match, is going to a tiebreaker, and no one wants to have a 1-1 for the match. So it's much more stressful being in that position.
I think your team had the best energy, bro. I loved your energy on SFL. It was great.
Yeah. And you know what? No, actually, Chris, you actually kind of worded that probably the best way possible in terms of just the stressfulness. But again, for spectators and me as a commentator, just looking at it, that's great. It's like, oh, wait, they can equalize and have a tiebreaker. You like that? I really don't want to fight this guy the 1-1 right now. That's what some of you
exactly
must be feeling like. But it's great to see. I mean, Wolfgang, if you ever got the call for SFL, would you take up the opportunity? Obviously, it does take a couple of days out.
10,000,000% I would. Yes, I would love to be on SFL. It would be amazing. I would love the experience, man.
Okay, fair. Oh, no, do you know what? That brings me on to the impromptu question as well, because Capcom Cup did get announced. Chris, let me hear your perspective on this first. Capcom Cup being a week long. What do you think about that?
I absolutely hate it because I am a student. I'm trying to go to school out here and you guys are asking me to take a week off. How am I supposed to do that? That's crazy. Like, I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to be able to go or not. I will try my absolute best, but it might not be able to happen. So I hate it.
Well, thank you for your honesty and your bluntness. Wolfgang, what about you? It's a change of pace. Capcom Cup being a week long, what do you think?
Do you mean as far as just like... Yeah,
because usually what happens with tournaments and finals, you have it over the span of a weekend, 3 days, or maybe 4 days, you stretched it, but a week long for finals.
Oh, the time you mean.
Yeah,
so
time.
I think if I'm not gonna say brutally honest, but like just straight up, for someone like me, you know, I don't mind it because of the kind of work that I have. Like I can make time to be like, okay, yeah, I can get a week off and go. Like it's in LA. It's pretty sure it's in LA. It's like not that far. I'm in the same state, so it's cool. But for other people, especially if they're like traveling, and it's like they got to put or even if they're not traveling, a whole week off. You know, I can see it being a little weird for them. Some might not even stay for the whole LCQ. They might just stay for the finals or do whatever they came for. But overall though, I think it's going to be a dope week. I'm not saying like what's going to happen won't be cool. I just think that it might be a little inconvenient for those that have to put off work or travel far,
Okay, well, I'm gonna probably start asking more players about the question because again, it is a change up in things, and obviously Capcom Cup is different. Yeah. It's gonna be the last one for SF5, but it's great to get your opinions on that. Guys, have you got any more SF5 related questions you want to ask these two before we move on to SF6?
Mine isn't actually just Street Fighter 5, but I have this new question that I like asking. So I would like, this is for both of you. We can start with ChrisCCH. And I would like to know if there was something that you found incredibly frustrating or unenjoyable with fighting games when you started that you now have come to love as like one of the main things with fighting games.
Yeah, I would say probably the main thing that annoyed me a lot was just playing against like super aggressive players at the beginning. I remember I would run into Mika and Laura players back in season 1, and those guys made me not want to play the game anymore. But now that I've now I've grown as a player, I actually do really like fighting super aggressive like styles of play. Just any sort of like unique style of play in general, I like fighting because I feel like it gives me time to kind of figure out a strategy specifically for that player or that character. And that's the one that I have a lot of fun with now, is just going in training mode and watching replays and coming up with those strategies. So I've definitely changed in that regard and kind of enjoy fighting those characters and players now.
Very studious indeed. Wolfgang, what about you?
And I'm assuming we're talking about like just. Is there anything when we were first playing fighting games that we found frustrating to deal with at first?
Like,
Is that the question?
I hated anti-airing, I hated Blanca.
Combos were too hard.
I don't know, anything.
We had to sneak that in there, you jammers. You had to sneak that in there, right? Yeah, all right. Me personally, like, it's been so long since I started because I've been playing fighting games since I was a kid. Like, not competitively, like for real. You know, my first competitive game was Street Fighter V. I did play Ultra Street Fighter 4 as casually. Played a lot of other fighting games growing up as a kid in general. But like, if there is one thing I can say that I really do not like about fighting games, it's like how, I guess when it comes to like character design, how it can gravitate certain player bases, right? And I'm not saying, I know it's gonna sound weird. I know, you know, I might have your brains hitting a pop shove it by me being a Blanca player and all, but like, you know, like me personally, it's just, I don't know, man. Like when you look at people that play characters, and I'm gonna just say it straight up, like Abigail players, bro, or like even certain like players that, or like Alex players, Geef players. No disrespect to you, Veggie. I know you used to play Geef. Geef players, like you just see their mentality. Like, they get so sad that they can't have something that's as broken as a top tier character in the same regard. Or like even when Poison came out. Right? Everybody was like, oh, why doesn't she ever DP anymore? Or, oh, this, that, and the third. I'm like, bro, she doesn't need it. Like, people can't look at archetype and see. And, you know, I'm not expecting everyone to be a pro, right? But just like, I don't like that kind of mentality when they're entitled. They're entitled to having something because they play a certain character. Bro, if you don't just like, you know.
Are you saying that they can't accept a new design or change as to something that was working for so long?
Not even just a change. Like, let's say like, you played X archetype in one game that's complete. It can be even completely different from like another game. But we're going to use Street Fighter as an example. They're not the same archetype that as another character, or even the same character that you played in this game, and you get mad about it. I'm like, why don't you take the time to look at what the character has to offer? If they aren't your cup of tea, that's not the character's fault. You just don't like it, and that's no one else's fault. And it's like, why are you being? I don't know. It's just weird. That's something like. Growing up into the competitive scene, I noticed no matter how long, even from season 1 of Street Fighter 5, and even Ultra to an extent. I'm like, man,
you're asking a lot from FGC players. Yeah.
Oh, I know.
You're actually just firing shots at me, but that's okay because I like you anyway. So
hey, let's go.
Oh, dear me. But yeah, you know what? It was great to see that. Yeah, we got a little bit of time for the SF6.
Could I just ask also, Wolfgang, quickly? When you played Mena at Evo, do you think Birdie would have been a better pick, or is Balrog the pick against Blanca?
I think both, in my opinion, both matchups are even. I've had to fight tooth and nail to tell people that, especially Balrog, but I do think Birdie would have probably been just as decent of, I don't want to say decent, it is Mena we're talking about, but like I do think that like it wouldn't have mattered. Like we would have been playing our best regardless. I feel like Mena, you know, regardless of the alleged counter pick, you know, he did play his best. I played my best, and we just did our thing. You know, like I tell people, like, you know, it's all about when I fight Balrog, it's all about the counter crouch. You have to establish that they cannot throw dash straight in neutral. And when they start abusing lows or not doing dash straight as much, right, because of the rewards you get, that's good. You know, it's still Balrog, but it's not 6-4 like people say it is. It's like, nah, it's actually even, you know? So that's why when he picked Balrog, I was like, I got so much confidence right now. It's not even funny. Like, but yeah, I don't think it wouldn't have mattered. Like, you know, we would have played our best regardless.
Okay, I like that answer. Nice in-depth answer there. Right, we got time for a couple of SF6 questions. So am I right in saying that you both played the SF6 closed beta? Damn, almost 2 months ago. Did you both play?
Yeah. Yeah, we did.
Sweet. All right. It's nearly been 2 months. That's crazy.
So on a Tuesday.
Chris, let me. Jesus Christ. Chris, let me get your opinion on it first. So, what were your general thoughts on the game, and which character did you play whilst playing the beta?
Yeah, I definitely liked it overall. I started by playing Luke, which probably makes sense, and then I decided that Luke is terrible and needs several buffs. So I stopped playing Luke entirely and just played Ken. And Ken's a lot of fun. I like Ken a lot. They gave him a lot of cool new moves, cool combos. His stamina you confirm is really fun. So I like playing Ken a lot. I don't know if he's who I'd actually play in the final version. In the final version, the two characters I'm kind of interested in seeing right now are Balsam and Ed.
Wait, sorry,
Those are
I
like-
couldn't. I didn't. Hold on, I didn't clean out my words. Sorry.
I couldn't
Those
hear
are
you,
two characters
bro.
I want to play.
So you said Dulcin.
Dulcin and Ed.
Wow.
All right.
Okay.
So those
that's
characters,
a-
I only play good characters. So if they're not good, I won't play them. But I feel like they
Talk to him. Okay,
They-
that's
they
what I like
could
to
be-
hear.
If they're good, I think, and especially if Dulcin is Dulcin level good, because that's a whole different level of good we're talking about. Then
How
I'll
much of a
definitely
level
have
of
to
good?
play him. I mean, he's the best character in the game in this game.
I mean,
Why are you not playing him in
let's-
this?
Here we go. Here we go.
let's just.
All right, I can explain that actually. I can explain that.
Okay, yeah. I'd love
Alright.
to hear that
Well,
actually.
I don't think Dhalsim was I think Dhalsim's been broken for a very long time, but I don't think he was the best character in the game until this season. And at this season, I feel like I've gone so far without playing Dhalsim that I don't want to stain my entire legacy as a fighting game player by starting to play him. But if he's broken immediately in Street Fighter 6, I'm willing to stain my legacy in order to secure the Ws.
All I can do
gotta-
right now
I
is just
gotta
look at your
respect that.
still image on the screen. I have no words for you right now. I just
Gotta
hope that
respect
they.
that. Gotta get those Ws.
I just hope that Stan Roundhouse into Drive Rush isn't there by the time the game comes out.
That's the face of someone that hates Dawson, but
well.
will go at nothing to be the
Hey,
best.
listen, man, that's what you got to do. Is if a sponsored player is part of the job. Chris, have you got any hopes and concerns for Street Fighter 6? Obviously, before the game drops.
I'm kind of weirded out by the tech window. I feel like the tech window is so big that I don't really know how offense is supposed to work. But I'm kind of of the mentality of you really cannot predict how a fighting game's meta is gonna turn out. I mean, no one can even like successfully predict what a tier list is gonna look like for a new season every time you see the patch notes. So just from the interviews we have right now, I spent like even if we just played this version of the beta in tournaments, I don't know how the meta would pan out. So it's kind of hard to say. But right now, it seems hard to get offense working with how big the tech window is. It almost feels reactable. And the other, I know there's been a lot of talk about Drive Impact, and I don't really like Drive Impact for the reason that it's like, I think it's very easy to counter, but it's just kind of random. Like, I don't get what the purpose is, because if you throw it out in neutral, I think at a high level, once you have time in the game, if you throw it out in neutral, you're always going to get Drive Impacted right back and lose half your life. So it's just kind of like a random option to throw out and hope that they press a button at the same time. So I don't really get what the purpose of the move is. It just doesn't seem like a very interesting mechanic to me.
Wow. I think you're like the first person to really take a different angle on Drive Impact. That's actually pretty interesting.
I like that answer.
Yeah, no, I like
Can,
that answer.
can I just follow up a little bit related, but not entirely related, but still Street Fighter 6 to ChrisCCH? What do you think about hitbox in Street Fighter 6? Is it still going to be more powerful, in your opinion, than regular stick or pad?
Oh yeah, it'll definitely be better. I think the only thing that was noticeably nerfed, and it's definitely going to be really annoying, is the fact that Super, you have to get the diagonal inputs to input Super now, and that's going to make it hard to input on hitbox.
Yeah,
when I was playing the
like
beta, I
us.
was missing so many supers. It was hard. So I think that's really the only thing annoying about playing hitbox. But you still get all the benefits of movement and just cleaner inputs. So it'll definitely be better. That's really the only thing I noticed that's like worse.
Okay. No, cool. That's a very good question there from Beggy. Wolfgang, what about you? How did you find the closed beta, and which character did you play in the closed beta?
So, funny enough, because people know me as a pad player, I played Guile on Hitbox that whole weekend. And let me tell you something, bro. I've never felt.
Wait, what?
I have never felt a better form of like power in my entire life playing a charge character. And what he was able to do in that beta was insane. Like, bro, the what's the name? The punish counter low forward. It's a heavy just frame flash. I'm like, yo, that is insane. Why did I
do
get
you know
that?
how strong that is? When you get the counter hit,
like-
crouch medium kick, it's a flash kick. It's like, come on.
Send him full screen, like he's back to zoning, like it's great. But they're definitely like he does have a couple weaknesses, right? Like you obviously can't just do Sonic Blade in neutral. You will get swept mad easy. Everybody can just walk on a sweep, right? So like that's something you have to consider. You can't just be brain dead with him. You do have to play him very smart still. But he's strong if you do play him smart. Is, what I'm getting at. I had a lot of fun with the beta. I did mess around with a few characters, but like Gao was definitely the main that I focused on the most. Because he was the only true like charge only outside of Sonic Blade, the only true charge only character. And I am going to be playing, trying my hand at other characters that will probably charge, but probably not on hitbox. I'll probably just stick to pad.
Okay,
future.
fair. It looks like the game's flexible enough to see whatever peripheral you want. Any hopes or concerns for 6? Similar to Chris or different to Chris at all?
Concerning, but not in a negative way. I just want to see if they do listen to the community about how drive impact is. Personally, I don't care. It's a 26 frame move. Even Chris said it's like, reactable, right? It is. If you can't react to that move, then you just gonna have to lose to it, right? That's just on you. You have to get better or just lose to it, right? But I kind of get the concern of like it being random, because at the end of the day, we're both trying to call out something that could happen, not what is actually happening, unless the other opponent is just that obvious, right? So like, if you're expecting a normal cancel, like low forward into a fireball, and then you V-shift that, drive impact that, that's a counter, right? Or like if you read Jamie over committing to Rekka, you just drive impact, right? So that's one thing. But I think eventually the meta, and mind you, not all characters that probably will come out. I don't expect everybody to be mid-range. We had 7 mid-range characters and 1 zoner in the beta. And if that's all we had to take from what the beta was, I don't see drive impact being that big of an issue, because not everybody's going to play at that range. Everyone's going to be pretty different, especially with buffs and nerfs and stuff like that over time. Hopes, like, I don't know. I don't really think drive rush. I don't think a raw drive rush should be 1 bar. I think that's a little too strong. I'm not gonna lie. Being able to just go in at any point in time, and especially because it's a flash, right? It's a flash of paint. Your brain might not be ready to easily ready to react to whether or not it was green or red, right? I've seen top players thought that someone was going for
drive impact,
and then they tried to GI it back, but they went for empty drive rush in the throw. And it's like, oh well, that's kind of rough. So it's like the reward you get off drive rush, especially when you can make the next normal +4 more frame advantage. That's crazy. I definitely think it should at least be 1.5, not just 1 bar. That's just too much.
Okay, so just let's see if Capcom revisit how much bar you're spending from the drive gauge.
Hopefully, yeah.
We'll see. Fingers crossed there. Now, obviously, I should have 2 more questions. So, obviously, you guys have been participating, or like I know Chris has, and I think you guys have got one later today for you guys. Is that right? A World Warrior event? Is that what you guys?
Yeah, like 2 hours.
Oh, in 2 hours. All right, cool. Right. So let me ask you this. Do you guys enjoy the World Warrior program, first of all, and do you think it should return for Street Fighter 6 if we do get another CPT? Chris, you first.
Yeah, I do like it. I think it's actually very cool to be able to showcase the regions kind of in more depth than just one tournament, and I think it's a lot better than just having like you have one CPT and then a few months later you're going to have another CPT in the same format. I personally like it a lot. I think for Street Fighter 6, the only thing I'd like to change is ideally the netcode will allow us to like have larger regions, because I feel like I'm not going to call out any region specifically, but some regions definitely have a significantly lower level of high level competition than other regions. And so if you could have like larger regions, I think it would be a bit more balanced. Like maybe even all of NA could be one region. I don't know how they're going to want to split it up, but at least just make larger regions would be probably the one thing I'd like to see change for Street Fighter 6 if they do continue the format. I also think if you win all of your World Warriors, you should be automatically qualified. I think Ending Walker should already be in Capcom Cup. We shouldn't even need to do a UK World Warrior Finals. It should be a done deal. Don't give him the extra stress. He's proven himself enough.
Don't worry, we've spoken about not just Ending Walker, we've just spoken about in general, because someone could sneak into the final 8 and that 8th place could just knock out first seeding in round 1, and it's like, well, just call it a day. It's like after you've been so consistent. So no, it's good that you bring that up, because obviously it can be super stressful on you guys as players. So much appreciated for your opinion on that. Wolfgang, what about you? Do you enjoy the World Warrior program? Do you want it to return in Street Fighter 6 if we do get another CPT?
I'm gonna keep it a stack. At this point, all I can do is piggyback, because Chris pretty much said everything I was gonna say. Like, I do think that the being able to showcase, like, again, like all the regions in, like, at a high level, and it's like Capcom based. Like, I think that's really sick. Like, it almost feels like community Rambats, like back in the day. You would like keep playing each other, and then at the very end of even though it's monthly, at the very end of it, whoever has like the top 8 of these points will do a finals to see who's like we're going in the Capcom Cup, or the best of the region or whatever for that year. I think it's really creative, it's really inventive. You get to see a whole lot of high level play that you couldn't really see when it comes to traveling, or if it's just like one single what they used to call it, just like the online premieres or whatever, right?
Oh, standalone event, just single event.
Yeah. And if you couldn't get that one day off, then you just can't make it. It's like, nah, man, let me play multiple times. Hey, who knows? I can maybe sneak in on the last 3, if not all of them, and maybe still get win if I keep winning first. So you have that option. Also, yes, I do think if you win every single World Warrior in your event undisputed, you should automatically qualify. It's literally undisputed. Like, no one can beat you. You should go in, right? And with that in case, because I think another event did this. I think it was Red Bull. Then they did this a while ago. I think it was like, I can't remember. It was something where like the player was already like going to go to Evo anyway, or qualified or something. And so they bumped up the other 2 through 9th of the ranking and made them do top 8 or whatever, something like that. I forget what it was, but I think that's how it should be. If the person that's at first always winning or whatever, or wins every single one, gets qualified, I think the other players should just like bump it up to top 8 to play it out. Also, like in Street Fighter 6, I do think it should come back. I have very high hopes, and I do hope that well, no, I won't say high hopes. I have confidence that they will be able to, because out of the netcode being stuff, it'll allow larger regions to like come together and play, without feeling like you have to what's the word? Not sanction off, but kind of just like go about your own region. Divide, yeah. It's like, because like it sucks, because like you know how often I would want to play someone in Japan or play someone in even not even just tournament, just in casual, right? Like you will have that opportunity to do that, and that'll make even more opportunities for World Warrior events to even be a bigger shine, So I do think that I love the format, 100%.
Fair play indeed. Nah, good answer from the both of you from different perspectives. I always love asking people that question. Right, I think we got time for my final question here before we have to let you two gentlemen go and get ready for your World Warrior events yourselves, because you guys still got points to play for and a regional final to determine. So obviously the game is going to have actual commentators from the community put into the game. Obviously Steve's there, James Chen, Vicious, a lot of them are there. If you could pick 2 commentators to be DLC commentators, who would your choices be? And you'd have them on as options while you're playing the game. Chris, you first.
Are we forced to say you Gemmers?
Okay.
I feel like it's gonna be bad if I don't say you. It's like I'm insulting you. So I want you and say Jam.
Okay. No, I like those choices. I mean, I don't get insulted when people don't say my name. It's all up to you, personal choices.
Feeling himself,
But no, much appreciated for that. Wolfgang, what about you? What would your 2 choices be?
Saint Cola and Yipes. I think that, bro, like that's all I'm gonna say. If y'all be watching these tournaments, bro, Saint Cola and Yipes would be amazing for commentators, like the in-game commentators. That would be so like the hype, and just like sometimes maybe a couple funny lines here and there, but mostly just like hype moments. I think they encapsulate like those key like moments when it comes to whether it's, I wouldn't say like play-by-play. I know Yipes can be pretty analytic every now and then, but like just overall just having those 2 commentators, because like you'll have plenty of play-by-plays, right? But then you'll have like the color commentators that really are there to do their thing. I think those would be great additions, 100%. Saint Cola and Yipes. So
you think they'd be able to like they're some of the best at keeping you like locked into the set or the match or whatever, like they keep you engaged,
invested. Yes.
First second to the last. No, honestly, great choices there from both players. So, gentlemen, I believe we are just about out of time. So what we are going to do is we're going to put your fight card back on so the people know where to follow you both. Ladies and gentlemen, this is where you can follow ChrisCCH as well as Wolfgang. There is ChrisCCH's Twitch. But yes, at this part of the show, this is where I give you guys the podium. Chris, you got to rein it in on the Dowsim. Any last words for the people before we let you go?
The last thing I want to say for any Hajime no Ippo fans out there, the only reason I was able to succeed today is thanks to keeping up to date on the manga and studying Ricardo Martinez. Let me use his full name. Ricardo Martinez versus Wooly. That taught me everything that I needed to know for this fight. I wouldn't be able to do it without Lord Ricardo Martinez.
Good Lord. Chris has always got something to say. It's great. Wolfgang, what about you? Any final words? Anything you want to plug before we let you guys go?
Well, I was gonna make a joke, but I'm actually not gonna make that joke. Okay. I was gonna say something very negative about Luke, but I'm not gonna do that. You know, Chris got his dub. I'm gonna let him get it. You know, but no, seriously. You know, I'm out here. I'm trying out a new format of content. I am pretty much a VTuber now. I'm going to be putting a lot more stuff on my YouTube, not just like guides and tutorials for like fighting games, but I don't know, you know, I'm probably going to more deeper like things where like video essays, discussion videos, stuff like that. I want to try that new avenue, and you know, with FGC and out of FGC, I think that would be cool for me. So you guys can follow me like on my Twitter, you know, at Wolfgang XO. You can follow me on my YouTube. For now, you would want to type in Wolfgang Blanca, and I should pop up on YouTube. That will change soon once I get the algorithm figured out. But yeah, follow me for a whole lot of content. Stuff's gonna be coming out pretty soon. You know, I'm trying to establish things as we go along, and I'm happy to be on this show with you guys, man. This is a really great experience. I had a lot of fun.
Nah, appreciate you both taking time out of your day to come on. And yes,
great for sure.
Yeah, like we said, their fight card, there's a social, so make sure you get following them. And then, of course, you'll get to see them actually later on today if you tune into the respective Twitch channel. What's the World Warrior Twitch channel going to be on, gents? Do you guys know which one it is?
I actually couldn't even tell you. I'm not too sure.
Okay, Chris, do you know what it is, or?
Sorry, yeah, so the way our World Warrior works is actually weird. I accidentally muted myself, my bad. So the way World Warrior works is weird. So today we go up to top 8 and there's no stream. If you want to watch a stream, I will be streaming my run. But for an official stream, they're only doing it tomorrow at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and that'll be on Level Up Live.
Cool.
Okay.
Those are the necessary details.
Nice.
So if there is time, we'll make sure to check that out indeed. All right, gentlemen, we're just about out of time with you guys. So when you're ready, you can leave the Discord call so myself, Veggie, and Ovaha can close out the show. And obviously, I'll drop you guys a message thanking you guys once again for being with us today.
Yes, sir. Take it easy, man. Y'all have a great rest of the evening. Thank you.
Take it easy, gents. So yeah.
All right, peace.
What a show. We got there eventually. Again, apologies for the delayed start, but we did have an entertaining set. Learned a lot. Obviously, Elvaha gave us some insider info before the set even started, so there's a couple of things that we were able to keep an eye out for. And then obviously, Veggie made some fantastic observations regarding Luke's jab, amongst other things as well. So props to you guys today with your insight and your knowledge. But yeah, I mean,
And yours, Jammers.
Did you guys?
Of course.
Thank you too.
Did you
I
guys
was very
enjoy today overall? Veggie, did you enjoy it?
I enjoyed it a lot. I thought it was funny that it started this late. I actually thought it was hilarious. So after we started, I thought that was a lot of fun because I came back to the call and then suddenly Chris just popped up and was talking. I was like, "Bro, he's here. Okay, let's go."
So
What's
all
going
you
on?
had to do was disappear. Was he
Yeah,
scared of you?
when I came back and it was like everyone was just talking as if it's been there the entire time, and I was like, okay. Maybe it's me they're waiting for. I don't know. Maybe there's something going on in my brain, and I'm like thinking it's someone else, but it's actually I who was late. But it wasn't though. Don't blame this on me. It was not me. But I enjoyed also seeing the matchup. It's hard to say because you don't know if they're equally matched as players or not to see what the matchup is. But I think they're both really strong, and the match was close. 10-6 isn't a runaway.
No, of course not.
And a lot of the games were really like Chris held composure on defense while Wolfgang maybe fell a bit more apart, maybe due to experience. So, but overall the gameplay, amazing stuff. Really top Blanca, top Luke stuff. And I see a lot of people not saying like, oh, Luke this, Luke that. Luke is a fundamentals character. You have to have good neutral to be a good Luke because everything he does is punishable. It literally is. And you can definitely, this is not biased because of my brother Venom. It's just my opinion. Luke is just a fundamentalist footsie character, and that's so enjoyable to watch. I love watching Luke. Blanca was kind of fun too.
Wow, I love how you just gave that absolute sermon on Luke. You said Blanca was fun. Elvaha, what about you? Did you enjoy today as well?
Blanca's fine too. On Tuesdays.
Well,
but yeah, I had a good time as well. I thought it was really funny that it turned out to be so late and Chris just popped in there. In the chat, he was like, "Oh, what's up, guys?" In that Chris voice, he's like, "Oh, what's up, guys?" It was so funny.
He just overslept. That's all. He was okay. We got to watch some gameplay.
It happens to everyone. Happens to everyone.
He won the set, and you're gonna be able to watch him on his stream do his World Warrior run later. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes today's episode of Sets. You can catch the archive on the YouTube channel. But we got things to plug. And the first we're going to plug is SFL EU. That's what we're going to do. Week 8 just happened. You can go on the YouTube channel, Capcom Fighters as well. You can find the full archives episodes on there from week 1 through to 8. And you can also subscribe to the Twitch channel or follow it on twitch.tv/Capcom Fighters. But a new challenger enters the fray. Somebody within the Capcom offices, not the community manager, somebody else, they've actually been chopping up the matches. And they've been putting them as individual matches. So if there is somebody that you want to specifically follow, specifically watch, just like SFL US, you can find those players. Week 1's up, apparently, not week 1 to 8. Week 1 is up of the split matches, but they will be, all those divided matches from week 2 onwards will be slowly going up on the channel throughout the week or maybe the next 2 weeks or so. But again, youtube.com/Capcom Fighters. And I did mention SFL US. They do have a graphic for week 9, but I don't think we grabbed it, but we can head on over to the website instead. There it is. And there it is. We have week 9 coming up this week. It's going to be fantastic to see, unless they've confused me. Somebody's confused me. I think they've confused me. No, they haven't. I must be completely wrong. Is that week 8 or is that week 9? Is that week 8? I've messed up my flow of calling the advertisement because I think that's confused me. I think we're going to take that looks like week 8. We'll take it anyway. There's going to be a new week of SFL US. I'll find out what week it is and talk to you about it later. But yes, if you want to follow, if you haven't been following SFL US, where the hell have you been? These guys have been putting on a show. They've been fantastic matches. You get to see ChrisCCH on there as well. He had a great match against Oil King recently, and I want you guys to go on over there and follow SFL US because there's been some fantastic gameplay there. Now, was there one more thing I had to advertise?
Oh,
yes!
yeah.
Ovaha, all yours.
Yeah, thanks. Install 22 is happening in Helsinki in just about 2 weeks from now. And you can still sign up if you're, most likely living in the Nordics and you're planning on a trip to Helsinki. But obviously the primary purpose of the event is to bring the Finnish fighting game scene together and enjoy and compete in various fighting games. There's gonna be 5 main games, and there's also various side tournaments, community events. You can also try your hand at a very old apparatus from the 90s. It's called Nopeustesti. It's called a speed test. I hope we can stream that. But Install 22 can be enjoyed as a competitor or a spectator physically, or, if you're able to come there into the venue or via a Twitch stream. So if you want to follow this, you should definitely follow at Helsinki FGC on Twitter, and we will be posting all of that valuable information there before the event begins. So I hope all of you can tune in for that.
Perfect. Good advertisement there from one of the locals, and will be person who will be joining that event. But yes, that is pretty much it from us. Congratulations once again to Rich the Dragon for being the new community manager for Street Fighter. We couldn't actually talk about Capcom Cup, the trailer that they released recently, but we're going to do that next week, and we're going to be asking players how they feel about that in general. We'll ask you guys as well in the chat just to get more engagement there. But yes, on a day that somebody overslept, it seemed that he kept the jungle under control. What we are going to do, because it is a little bit late, we're going to love you and leave you, and we'll see you next week for some more episodes of Sets. See you next time. Take care.
Shoryuken.